everything perfect and transitions and
Sure. Oh, I can't make it easy for you though.
some color correction. I color corrected your fucking camera a little bit. And then the stream lags. The
What's
stream,
wrong with my color?
nothing. I just adjusted the contrast just a little bit. Like I wish I could just control every aspect. I mean, I'm sure there's an app out there I could do that. Control every aspect of someone's camera. And just have them like put the camera where I want them to.
Right.
Like, okay, just set the camera like generally over by that tree and point it towards those mountains, and I'll do the rest.
Right.
But yeah, so we'll just wait a second for more people to come back.
Are we live again now?
Yeah, we're live again now. We got people coming in. Facebook always takes a minute till it go live.
Sure.
It's so weird. I don't know why. But hopefully what I shared already will work. We'll just wait for people to pop back in. Looks like it's actually working fine now. So apparently I can have my settings to the highest quality when I'm doing an interview. So
Sure.
but I have it at where it was like a couple days ago, and everyone was loving the quality of the stream. So
Cool.
I'll be happy leaving it at that. But we were just talking about how can't go live and not have something glitch out. So like I cropped and color corrected your camera, but
It's my fault.
So thank you, Zen, for letting me know. We're back, and I'm sitting here with my buddy Alex Mulholland, and he's from Minnesota, where I am, and he just moved out to Austin, Texas. And Alex, I kind of like was in denial that you were gonna move, because at first I was like, I knew you were moving and planning on it, but then I was like, oh well, he's not gonna move during COVID, and then all of a sudden you're like. I'm like, when are you moving? And then you're like, I'm already down here. So tell us about that adventure.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, Texas seemed to be like the one place of, well, one of maybe few places that didn't really give a shit when it came to COVID. They kind of kept everything open, and I knew I wanted to get back up on stage. Couldn't get back out to California and get up on the store anymore or down at the Ice House. They got everything shut down.
Yeah.
So I said, screw it, and I decided to come down here. And of course, the week that I decided to come down is when they hit COVID threat level 5, I think they call it, something like that. As I'm like driving down here, I didn't like, because I looked like a week before I moved down here just to make sure all the clubs were still open or whatever, and everything looked good. And then I drive down here the next week, and when I get here, I talked to one of the guys at the house that I was originally supposed to live at, and he's just like, yeah, they shut everything down completely. So, yeah, I go online and look at those exact clubs that I was looking on like 2 weeks prior, and everything's just shut down. So now I'm just kind of sitting here doing nothing, waiting for clubs to open back up. But I went downtown Austin last week just for my birthday and got a room at one of the hotels down there just to kind of at least check it out. Nobody, even though half the city's shut down, you wouldn't really think so because everybody's just kind of walking around downtown. All the bars are still open, everything like that, and they still have some venues open as long as it's just for music. They don't have comedy clubs open though. But since I found a music venue that was open, I still was able to hop up on stage and play with one of the local bands for a few songs. That was a lot of fun. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing playing with real musicians because they can just hop right in and play right along with whatever you can just give them a little bit of direction and they can suddenly make your song sound way better than you ever were able to.
Right? When I started, like, when my band, like, would have people play in it, when we started, like, we'd have to hire a session musician to, like, play a show with us.
Right.
And, like, That's when I realized that I was like, holy shit, there's people that are like this good at music it's like on Back to the
they can just hop
Future.
right into anyone.
Yeah, but he's like, hey, you just play this in the key of B. Watch me for the changes and try to keep up.
Right. Right. No, it's exactly right though too. All I did was I was just like, here's the chord progression. At this point, it's gonna change, to go to this tempo instead. I'll kind of give you the nod when it's gonna do that. There's like, okay, cool, and we just took off, and it's like we practiced for a year. With bands that I've been with before, we practiced every single week, and it's like they could never really pick up on those subtle cues if I was trying to nod at them like, hey, let's bring it through this chorus one more time, anything like that. They just like, nope, we're staying to exactly what the song's supposed to do, and that's it. Where these guys met them for 30 seconds, and I'm up on stage, and I kind of give them a head nod, and they just know exactly what I mean with the subtlest little head nod, or, like if I put my hand at them real quick, they know exactly what I want. And it was just really, really cool experience to be able to play with some musicians like that again.
That's
especially
awesome.
After, geez, it's been like almost 2 years since I'd even been on stage at all, actually, for anything. So just being on stage was, I noticed I had some of those shakes before I was going up on stage again, like I used to get.
Raina, thanks for subscribing, Raina. Tumanako. Appreciate you. Shakes.
Yeah.
Like you get the shakes, or you drank a special shake?
No, like back in the day, back when you're kind of a newbie at it and not really used to being on stage in front of a crowd, always get really nervous before you hop up on stage. But after years of doing it, it just doesn't really affect you anymore. You don't really even think about it anymore. Well, now it's almost been 2 years, and I was just sitting there waiting to get up on stage in front of like maybe 40, 50 people, and I'm just like, I can just feel my hands shaking. I was just like, man, I don't even know if I can play guitar like this right now.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got started, I was 30 seconds into the first song, it all came right back, which was fun. But it's just crazy how much time can just take that away from you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was I don't know. I'd never been really.
Are you playing Rocket League right now?
Yeah, right now I'm just in like what's called free play.
Oh, right now.
Yeah, so it's just like I'm just like kicking a ball around with a little remote control car, trying to like do tricks and stuff. Sure. Have you played Rocket League?
Oh yeah, I've played it.
Oh, you know what it is, then yeah. So
I didn't get super into it, but I played it enough with just like my brother, like local play or whatever, and I was always just trying to do tricks. One of the things I always try to do, I'm probably talking to a bunch of guys that just think I'm gonna sound like an idiot because they probably way better than me, but I would always try to go. I would always try to go into the goal, go upside down, and then move my car so it was pointed slightly upward, and then use the boost so I'd get over to the other side and then angle it down just in time to like curve back into the other goal. So it was like this really long loopy-loop where I'd float through the air.
Oh, like you started upside down like a turtle on its back?
No, like I would go into one of the goals and I would go up and upside down in the goal. Like I'd ride up the back of the goal.
Yep.
And then I'd launch out the top of it upside down and I'd jet across the middle of the field and then try to angle my car down just in time to where I'd coast back through the other goal instead.
Oh.
And finish the loop on it.
Dude, you're ready to play with us.
I don't know. It's been years since I've played that game now.
I know, that's where I was
most
too.
I've played lately with video games, honestly, is just Minecraft, which I always hated the idea of Minecraft, honestly, because I'd watch my friends play it and I was just like, this just seems dumb.
Yeah.
But now that I've given into it, because my old roommate, he and his son, they play constantly, and it's just kind of my way to keep in touch with them. So
yeah,
I just play online with them. That's really all I've been playing at all.
That's cool, because that's like kind of like a cool concept that like we realized, like my son that lives with his mom half the year in place that's like 400 miles from here, like we're able to connect a lot because of playing video games together. And you were saying that, and of course we both stream too. So like my son could be watching the stream right now, and like I could watch his stream sometimes. Like I'm doing other stuff, but I'm watching him stream Minecraft. But you were saying that your buddy did that kind of thing too, with like a long distance, like kind of little ways away from his son.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Because when he was living with me, he was probably around 200, 250 miles away from them constantly. But it's like having them in the same room with consoles nowadays. It's not like the NES anymore, which is awesome.
Did you ever play Halo, by the way?
Like a certain one, or just Halo 1 in general?
Like, did you ever do the live the LAN parties? Is what I'm getting at.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's like something that like our kind of generational. There's like a small segment of a generational gap of people between millennials and probably Generation X and millennials that like did this weird thing that a lot of like PC people understand the concept of it, but like these young kids like don't really know, like they don't really care about it. Like back in my day, we did it. We had to go to the same house and we all had to hook up our computers to each other.
Right. I never cared. I never cared when the people 10 years older than me, 20 years older than me said that stupid shit. So I know damn well that they don't care when I say it. And that sucks thinking about it that way, though, because I'll start saying something like that. I'm just like, oh, wait, you don't give a shit.
Exactly. I don't, like, and we have that perspective. Like, I think our parents had that perspective of their parents too, but like, we definitely know. I don't know.
The baby boomers, I feel like they didn't really get away with as much. I feel like their parents were just assholes.
Right? You're right. They're just war-torn assholes.
They didn't give any, like, back in my day I had to do this. It was just, you better do this.
Yeah. This is what you do. I try to say that to my kid. Like, I was like, why aren't you doing this? He's like, because I don't want to. I'm like, well, this is what we do. You're like, that's what you do. You know? No, that's what you do, Dad. Like, oh my God, how do you stop this? Like,
yeah, exactly. You can't just break out the belt anymore.
No, it doesn't happen. Not that I want to, but I'm like, I gotta get this kid to listen somehow. So it's you just use incentive. It's all about incentives.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that reminds me. So, like, this is so fucking weird, dude, since I've been here. But I was supposed to move into one house in Georgetown where I just was. But on my way down here, the landlady...
No cell phone service place? Yeah.
Yeah, no cell service place. But on my way down here, I'm like 2 hours out from Austin area. And the landlady that owns these few houses here that I'm going to rent one of the places from, she calls me and she's just like, hey, my property manager, she's sick, whatever. Her parents want to make sure she gets tested for COVID. And she just left my dogs at my place, yada, yada. She's going to be gone for a few days. Is there any way that you could just go to my house instead? And would you be able to dog sit for me? I was just like, yeah, I don't care. I'm used to dogs, you know.
Awesome.
Happy to help out. And it worked out well for me anyway, because when I got to that other house, I walked into just this house full of just weirdos. And I wasn't too excited to be around them anyway. So the thought of being in her house alone for however long until she finally got back from Mexico was just fine with me, hanging out with some dogs instead. But so anyways, she's just like, yeah, could you go to my house instead, meet up with the property manager's parents. They're going to give you the keys to all of our houses and all of our vehicles. And that way you can get in and move the vehicles around if you need to, blah, blah, whatever. And that it just kind of felt weird because I'm just like, this lady's never met me before. And suddenly she's trusting me with her entire life, giving me the keys to everything for some reason.
Dude, I know. You have that effect on people, though. Like you and I became best friends like right away, you know. And I feel like you're like that with a lot, you know.
And that's what a lot of people have said when I told them this story. I guess I don't really get what that is,
But I
that
don't.
must be.
Yeah, I don't think I would have given you the keys to my house when I first like.
Well, especially not like actually seeing me in person. Like she's in Mexico. She's just talking to me on the phone and saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
go grab all my keys to all my houses."
Weird.
I'm just like, all right. So I mean, she lucked out. You know, I'm not some crazy person.
Yeah.
So, anyways. So I go to her house instead after I get all of her keys, and I take care of her dogs for a couple weeks.
That's so nice.
And she keeps saying like I'm going to be back now, and then she puts it off again. And I'm going to be back now, and she puts it off again. Turns out she's trying to buy a house in Mexico too for her and her boyfriend and her 2 children to move to.
Okay.
And because they feel safer down there. And another reason they couldn't fly back allegedly was because right then Austin had shut down and wasn't allowing flights in apparently.
Okay.
So she's just having plenty of issues with plenty of different things. So anyways, I stay at her house for a couple weeks and I take care of these dogs. And when I about to go there, she's just like, hey, are you light colored? And I'm just like,
what?
Like skin wise? And she's just like,
what
she's
the
like,
fuck?
yeah. And I was like, what? Yeah, I am. She's just like, okay, good, because the bulldog just doesn't like darker people because she's got these 3 dogs there. And she's like, the bulldog apparently, and she gives me the story about how I guess it was owned by some dude in Mexico that just beat the living crap out of it.
Dude,
Now this bulldog
yeah,
has got
there's
a thing
racist
for darker
bulldogs,
people.
dude.
Oh, for sure. But
Like,
anyways,
people make them
like,
racist. I think.
Yeah,
well, we're not gonna debate on like if you can make your dog racist or not. Like, we'll talk about that next time.
But no,
But
so
I got
anyway,
shit to say about that. Just kidding.
Yeah, but no, she's apparently got this racist bulldog. She's like, that's good. And she's like, but it also doesn't like boots. I'm just like, okay, well, I wear Converse, so that should be fine. She's like, okay, cool.
It's also Buddhist.
Right, yeah. But, well, yeah, because apparently this guy, this Mexican dude that owned this dog before always wore boots and just would kick the living shit out of this thing. Allegedly. This is what I was told by her. So, this dog that doesn't like Mexicans or boots, she's just like, yeah, go take care of these dogs. But another thing, like, she's still, you know, she'll be lovey-dovey, whatever, and she'll like maybe even try to hump your leg, but be careful because that's when she'll go to grab your balls.
Well, thank you, Luna. Luna has returned. Is shredding. Thanks for the follow. Anyway, you were saying about balls?
Yeah, she's like that's when she'll grab your balls. And I was just like, that's kind of a weird way to say that because usually when you're talking about a dog going at your balls, it's gonna bite your balls. But she's like, yeah, it's only got its front like 4 teeth on the lower jaw, so it just kind of like nubs them and just kind of holds them. I'm just, this is the weirdest fucking dog I've ever heard of in my life. But I'm like, all right. So I walk into this house just shielding myself in every way.
Yeah, like what is gonna happen to me here?
Yeah, but and I mean everything turns out fine. Like she tried to like pick up my she was checking out my shoes, like which I mean she obviously really doesn't like some sorts of footwear because she was just on my feet for the first 10 minutes while I was there, just checking out my shoes, sniffing them, trying to like lift them up a little bit. But not like attacking, but like really checking out my feet for some reason. So that was odd. But anyway, so I take care of these dogs for a couple weeks, and she's
racist
just like,
foot fetish dog,
right?
Bootlicker.
But she's just like, you can use the master bedroom and the master shower area and wash your clothes through in there. I'm just like, okay. And so I mean, it was nice, not gonna lie, because I'm just hanging out with 3 dogs that they all ended up being super chill anyway. Didn't try to grab my balls, but I just got to hang out in her place, which is pretty damn nice for a couple weeks.
Dude, that's
anyways,
sick.
Fast forward, and she gets a hold of me like the following, almost 2 weeks later anyway, and she's just like, hey, my ex-husband, or rather current husband, because he's not quite divorced yet, He's going to be dropping off my 2 children tonight, and then this girl Ariel's going to be by to take care of them until we get back on Sunday. And that was Thursday night, and I was just like, oh, okay, sounds good. So Ariel and the children show up later on that night. Kids seem cool, normal, and Ariel seemed normal, ish, at least at that point. I could tell she had some daddy issues, but she's still somewhat normal. And I wake up the next day to the landlady texting me and saying, hey, Ariel's freaking out. Is there any way that you can go out there and give her a break from the kids for a bit, whatever, yada, yada. I was like, okay. And I mean, at this point in my life, I mean, I'm almost 32 years old at that point, but most I've done as far as like trying to help take care of kids is maybe watch them for an hour while my brother or sister left me with like my nieces or nephews.
Yeah.
I've never truly babysat. But I'm like, okay, whatever. The babysitter's still here. She just needs to work on some homework or something. And the kids are getting stressful. Yeah, I can just like help keep an eye on them for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I walk out there, and this Ariel is just berating these kids, and the landlady's on the phone with her on speaker, and she's yelling at the boy, just like, "You're a fucking princess," da da da, and going off because apparently the boy didn't like the eggs that she made him that morning, and she ended up having to make eggs like 3 different types of ways, and she thought these kids were so insanely spoiled and just couldn't handle them. And
jeez,
was literally just screaming at these kids with their mother on the phone. And I mean, I gotta give her credit, she was trying to remain as calm as possible. I mean, a lot more calm than I would be anyway if I heard somebody yelling at my kids like that.
Yeah.
But I was just starting to get uncomfortable though, because I'm just like, okay, now this boy is crying. The girl's just about to. The girl's 6 and the boy's 8. And like I said, I've never babysat in my life, but I'm just like, I know this isn't right. This is going to be emotionally scarring if it continues. So I'm like trying to get between the kids and the babysitter, just like, okay, let's everybody calm down. And was just about to bring them away, and then the landlady on the phone, she yells at Ariel. She's like, just get the fuck out of my house. Quit yelling at my kids like that. Like, finally blew up, and I don't really blame her. So this babysitter leaves. I walk out after her just because I'm trying to keep everything civil and cool things down. I'm just like, hey, if there's anything I can do, let me know. And she's just like, oh, I'm just going to be back in a couple hours. I was like, okay. So go inside, and the kids are just like, we want to go to the park. Okay. So we went to the park, went back after a little bit, and then the landlady calls me again. She's just like, I'm not having her come back. I'm trying to get a hold of somebody else to come take care of these kids. Can you just, watch them for just a little bit longer? And I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. And I mean, at that point, I'd hung out with the kids for 2-3 hours, and they seemed like normal kids. I didn't see an issue, and they weren't pissing me off.
Yeah.
So I really have no idea what set this Ariel girl off so horribly. But later on that night, she gets a hold of me, and she's just like, I cannot get a hold of anybody to come and take care of the kids. Are you okay with taking care of my kids for 4 days?
Wow.
Keep in mind, I have not met this woman yet.
You
and
have
I'm just
not
like,
met this woman? Like, are you working for the cartel or something? Wait,
dude, it was just the craziest shit ever.
I won't spoil it.
She lucked out.
Like, wait, what?
No. I mean, she lucked out because, I mean, like, for fuck's sake, who leaves their kids with some random guy that they have never even met? I mean, granted,
well, obviously that other girl was a bad situation, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
The nanny or whatever.
Still, I totally get it. And she had no other options. So, like, she's in Mexico. She couldn't do anything about it. Apparently, the dad wouldn't come pick him up. So here I am with these 2 kids, and I have to babysit them for 4 days. And like I said, I've never fucking taken care of a kid for more than an hour or 2 in my life. I'm just like, okay, what do you guys like to eat? And do I cook you food? Do you make your own food yet? What do we do now? I don't know. I have no idea.
Mac and cheese. I've heard kids like mac and cheese.
Yeah, and see, so I saw some of that attitude come out of the boy there, actually, because I made him some food once, and it was mac and cheese. Because like every kid's like mac and cheese, like you just said, make mac and cheese. He's like, I don't like mac and cheese. I'm just like, I don't believe you. I put it on the plate in front of him, and he just sat there and whined about it for about an hour. Goes and plays his video game for a while. I'm just like, I still don't believe you. I think you like mac and cheese. I think you're just being stubborn. And sure enough, about an hour later, he's back up at that counter eating that damn mac and cheese.
Yep.
And I'm just like, hey, I thought you didn't like mac and cheese. He's just like, I actually do. I just wanted something else instead. I'm just like, bullshit.
Dude, so, yeah, that's awesome. That was like good parenting. Hashtag good parenting skills, dude. Like
I found out. Well, I got Sarah on the phone with me this whole time, and she has a daughter, you know, because she's normally on the phone with me 24/7.
Yeah.
So I mean, luckily she's kind of in my ear, and she's reinforcing like, okay, maybe try this, or maybe try this. Sarah is my girlfriend.
Oh yeah, okay.
But she's got a daughter, and
I was gonna say like I don't think I've heard about this yet, but that's probably not for the stream, but.
But yeah, that's a whole different situation. Yeah. That just kind of started. But so anyway, she's on the phone with me, and
I'm imagining it's like when in the movies when some like at a comedy, like a romantic comedy, when someone's on a date, and like they're in your they're like their friends in their ear or something, like say this to the girl.
That's pretty much what it was. I mean, it wasn't constant, but there was a few times where she'd just be like, "Oh, you know what you should try is do this," or like, "Hey, count to 3. On 3, take it from them." You know, kind of little moments like that, where I'm just like, "Oh, okay, that's what I'm gonna do." But she did say, for the most part, she's like, honestly, I was like thoroughly impressed. Like, you definitely make a good dad. I'm just like, oh, right on, pretty good for just, you know, all I've ever been is a super uncle.
Yeah.
But
super uncle is like good training for dad, and being a dog, having dogs too.
Seems like all my friends at some point end up calling me their child's uncle.
Yep.
It's like, all right, well, I've been inducted, I guess. But so I've always just said I'm super uncle, even though I've never actually really taken care of kids up until now.
Aunts and uncles don't take care of the kids though. Like they hang out with the kids, and like grandparents don't either.
I hang out with them and get them in trouble. Like, hey, what doesn't dad or mom like you doing? Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that safely.
Right. Yeah. Let's do that in a way that you don't die.
Yeah.
And we'll make a day out of it.
Yeah.
That's me uncling.
Yeah. We'll make a day out of it.
Right.
Dude, that's a quote of the day. Quote of the stream.
Right, sure. But I mean, I do it for the kids, but I also do it because I want to piss my brother and my sister off. So. It's just fun for me either way.
What's up, Noble? What's up, Docky Mackey? What's up, Amanda? What's up, Heatlar? Senny Mark, how's it going, guys? I see you. We're chatting with Alex Mulholland. He's a friend of mine. He lives in Austin, Texas. He's a musician, comedian, actor, and nanny. Apparently. Landlord.
Too much.
A whole bunch of other shit that...
So hang on though. This gets
all right. So
worse. I was gonna say this gets better, but
I'm excited. Okay, so we're at the point where you got your girlfriend in your ear. You're now a manny landlord, and all right, go.
Yeah. So I take care of them that first night, and they're just great kids. They're just sweethearts, super affectionate. I got along with them great, and we get through that first night, and then the next day, their mom called me again, and you know she would at least FaceTime me every once in a while, and you know just kind of check things out, which I don't blame her. Your kids are with some dude that you don't know, you know. So she'd FaceTime me every once in a while. Otherwise, Sarah was always just on FaceTime with me. But the next day, she goes to FaceTime me again, and she's just like, "Hey, are you sitting down? Are you still there?"
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. It sounded really quiet for a second. I was just making sure I didn't disconnect. But she's just like, "Hey, are you sitting down?" And I was just like, "Yes." she's like, so Ariel, which was supposed to be the kid's babysitter that got pissed off and abandoned them. She's like, Ariel called the police, told them that I'm letting my kid stay with some guy that I don't know, and that he could be a pedophile, and yada yada yada. And I'm just like,
oh my god.
oh, for fuck's sake, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I did not ask for this. These kids literally got thrown at me. I don't want them at all. And this does not help because I already look like I'm Joe Dirt's cousin.
Yeah.
So
just moved here from Minnesota.
Yeah. And what am I gonna say? Like, the cops show up like, hey, do you live here? No. Are these your kids?
No.
You know their parents? Also no.
I've never met the mom.
Right. Like, what the fuck do I say?
Yeah.
So now I'm just nervous as shit, obviously, because the fucking pedo words being thrown at me by some bitch that doesn't know how to babysit kids and freaks out on them. So I'm just like, what the fuck? And now she's like, the cops are on their way there. They want to talk to you. Like,
this escalated so quickly.
Yeah. I'm like, fucking great. Fucking great.
This is gonna be great.
So the cops show up. And I immediately take out my phone. I'm like, this is Sarah, because I'm still on FaceTime with her, thankfully. Yeah. I'm just like, I've been on the phone with her, FaceTiming with her for ever. Like, you can look at all the history of the calls. She's been on the phone with me this whole fucking time. You know,
yeah.
I want that other adult supervision to be,
very much a part of this. Yeah.
Right. And I could tell by their demeanor that they're like, and Jamie did end up calling me back, the landlord. She did end up calling me back, and she's just like, okay, it's not actually you that they're asking about. It's this other guy named Michael. What? But there's like 3 guys named Michael or something. So, I mean, that was a weight off my chest at least. Anyways, because I was just like, okay, so they don't think I'm some pedophile. They think some Michael dude's some pedophile that I had to give a ride to yesterday.
Oh god.
But they're not sure if it's that. They're not sure if it's that Michael, or if it's their dad Michael, or if it's the next door neighbor who their kid is named Michael. Like, now there's some Michael that.
Christ.
And what it ended up being is one of the neighbor kids, like 2 years prior, who's like a year older than the boy, like, kissed him on the lips when they were like 6 and 7 or 5 and 6 or something like that.
Oh my
like,
god.
Something some kids would randomly
something innocent
do,
yeah.
I guess. Yeah, But this babysitter though, Ariel, she's got such a fucking chip on her shoulder now because Jamie told her to leave, that she's just pissed. She's calling the cops, she's calling Child Protective Services, she's calling everybody, saying that Jamie's this piece of shit, when really Ariel just couldn't handle children, got pissed off, and is now just pissed off at Jamie because Jamie called her out for it, basically. And
wow.
So she's oh, yeah, it was insane. But anyway, so these cops show up. He's like, hey, here's my girlfriend. She's right here. She's been here the whole time, But they're just like, no, everything's fine. We just want to ask you a few questions. I was like, okay. And I tell them the whole spiel. They're like, okay, we want to talk to the kids. So I was like, all right, kids, come out, And they both go out there and talk to the police. And fucking, like, I'm still sweating, like, because I'm just like,
yeah.
Who knows what a child could randomly say that I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
It is gonna throw up some weird red flag that is like, oh, maybe we do have to talk to you. And I'm like, I didn't do shit. But the kids come back in and they ask me to come back out. I go back out and talk to them, and just like, everything seems fine. Kids seem fine. They didn't say anything bad or weird or anything that would throw up any red flags for us.
Wow.
And I'm just like, cool. But then they look at me because now I've explained my whole situation, how I got into it, how I had just come here, and why I'm even at this house. And one of them looks at me and they're just like, how the fuck did you get in this situation? I'm just
right?
like, dude, I don't fucking know. These people are insane.
Oh my god, dude.
But so they left, thankfully. But then, so I take care of these kids for the next 3 days or whatever it was then. They get home, and then the CDC comes out, and they want to interview everybody. And I had to go through that whole process. And CDC is just like, do you have any history of abuse when you were a child and all this kind of stuff, basically trying to figure out
yeah.
shit about me because I was alone with them technically.
Yeah.
But and I mean, I don't know. So they came out and interviewed me and the parents and everybody involved, and we haven't heard from them since anyway.
Wow.
So that's cool because I didn't want to have to go to jail for
some landlord. Yeah.
Yeah, some landlord tossing her kids on me saying take care of them because we're in Mexico.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Well, let me know when you write the script. I'd love to shoot the short film that you inevitably make and enter into South by Southwest.
Oh my gosh, dude,
That'd be a good like Chris and Alex like low budge.
Yeah, no kidding. Seriously.
Short film.
It'd be funny. It'd be funny. Like in this whole time that this is happening, in my head, I'm just like, as long as I don't go to jail, I could get some funny bits out of this for fucking my stand up.
Yeah. Seriously. Like, especially for Austin, you know, like, cause it's like moving to Austin, like, I'm sure that the locals will appreciate that when you package it into jokes.
Right, for sure.
It seems like you get yourself into situations like that a lot.
Yeah. And I honestly, I mean, like, this one was fucking freaky. I did not want to be in any way involved in it, but I mean, still, I got a funny story out of it now. But most of the time, like, if I see some really weird person, they're just like, hey, you want to go do this weird shit with me? And I'm just like, fuck yeah, let's go do some weird shit because I know that this is going to be an exciting story for me.
Yep, same here.
I always, if there's a weird person saying, let's do some weird shit, always say yes. Yeah. Because it will be some fun fucking shit. Even if it's not like fun, it's going to be funny.
Yeah, it's going to be, exactly. It's going to be entertaining, and you'll never forget it. As long as it doesn't seem dangerous, but... I mean,
so get this.
Don't get in Merc vans with strangers. Is what I'm saying. Merc is a van.
Depends on how much candy they are offering me and what kind.
That's Alex, though. Don't take Alex's word. You don't have to be Alex. Alex gets in vans.
Oh yeah, I forgot we have listeners right now.
Right?
That's hilarious. Yeah, don't do that. Sorry.
What is it? The quote from Tina Fey: "Never follow a hippie to a second location, or never follow a hipster to a second location. Never follow a hipster to a second location."
That makes sense. I like that. It does make sense.
But
okay, so no, get this though. So it doesn't get worse than that, thankfully, but it gets
more entertaining.
There's just more.
Yes, I love it. I'm so glad there's more.
So this lady, she decides like, okay, because I've saved up enough money for my trip, but I've budgeted enough aside that I don't need to really do anything except focus on what I want to focus on. Stand up, music, whatever it is. But I was just like, I want to have a little extra fun money, and I brought all of my tools, as you might be able to see. Probably not, but I got all my tools with me, and I've always been kind of a handyman, growing up on a farm and going through carpentry school and cosmetology school.
Yeah.
So I just let her know I can do that kind of stuff, and sure enough, she wants me to. So I was helping out for a bit, and oh man, she started so at this other house that she wanted me to live at originally, she started having major problems because she's got these two squatters there, a boy and his father. And because of COVID rules, she can't kick them out. They haven't paid rent for January yet, but she still can't kick them out.
Yeah.
And it's not because like COVID made this happen to them. They are just lazy pieces of shit that haven't had a job in forever, called themselves handymen, that I've been like just basically cleaning up their work ever since I got here. But
wow.
So she's just got this horrible situation there. The cops are being called there like 4, even up to 7 times a day to this other house, because there's another 2 guys that live there that are constantly getting drunk, and one pulled a knife on Michael pulled a knife on Andrew. Andrew pointed a BB gun at Michael. Andrew claimed Michael hit him. but the cop said that no, Michael never did hit him. Andrew just fell over because he was drunk and hit his face on the ground. Andrew ends up bringing some girl that's hooked on meth to the house and staying there for a couple days. Andrew hooks up with the girl, then Michael hooks up with the girl. Andrew gets mad at Michael, leaves Michael at a different house so he can go back to the house that they live at to hook up with the girl again himself, so Michael wouldn't do it. Then Andrew admits that he and Michael both hooked up when they were drunk one night.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, I am so happy I'm not in that house.
Right?
Like, I would much rather put up with the cops showing up with the kids than be in whatever situation that fucking was.
And that's
But
where
anyways,
you
so
were
she's
gonna
not-
live? Or
That's where I was going to live. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's one other guy there that I met there. The one that let me in the house the first night I showed up before I went to Jamie's house. His name was Keyshawn, and he was like completely normal, you know.
Yeah.
And he took off at the end of the month last month. He was there 1 month, and he's like, "Adios, motherfuckers." But
he's completely
I
normal.
almost-
He's like, he hides his crazy shit like the rest of us.
yeah,
Normal
exactly.
people.
Right.
It pretends his quirks don't exist.
Right.
Just kidding.
Yeah, until you start not caring, that comes with
Yeah.
a certain age. You're like at 30, you're like, I don't really care about this stuff anymore if it gets out. And then at 40, you're like, I don't really care about that stuff anymore. And then 50 is like that
Yeah.
stuff. And then 60, you're just like, I don't give a shit about anything anymore. You can know all of it.
Exactly. Taking my teeth out.
Right. Right. But no, so there's a bunch of crazy shit happening there. She's constantly on my ass about it. Like, not on my ass, but she's constantly calling me downstairs like, now this is going on, because she wants me to like help out with all these things too, which I agree that like I don't mind helping out every once in a while. Cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, I went to one of her other houses and I was hanging up TV mounts and fixing doors and this kind of bullshit just to have some extra cash. But it gets to the point where like I'm getting called down at like 3 in the morning and she's like, now this is going on. The cops are,
Oh god.
cops are there and this stuff. And I'm just like, why are you calling me down to tell me this? It's literally none of my business. And there's literally nothing I can do. She's just using me as like a way to vent, basically. And this woman will not slow down. She throws out all these ideas. She buys these houses and she throws people in them, doesn't even know who they are. She gets like the 2 guys that are still squatting there now that she still can't get out her from like Blue Bonnet or something. And still using meth in the house. The cops saw the bulls and still can't kick them out for some reason or do something about it. I don't know. It's just fucking
What?
weird.
That's really weird.
But then she starts pulling me aside some nights when I'm like helping her out with stuff around the house, and she's just like, Chris being her boyfriend, she's just like, Chris thinks that I like you. Chris thinks that I want you. Chris thinks that I want to have sex with you, you know. And she tells me this like a few times. I'm just like, okay, well,
Wow.
I don't know what to say. Like, tell him that you don't want to then. And but then there's one night I come home. I leave. I go get Taco Bell. I come home, and there I can hear them yelling, which was common for a couple of weeks there. I could hear them yelling as I'm walking up to the house, and walk in, go straight to the steps, walk halfway up, and then I hear her fucking voice. Wait, Axel, come down here. It's important. I'm just like, okay. So I walk out to the kitchen, set my Taco Bell down on the island. I look at them, and Chris is facing away from me, and Jamie's looking back and forth between me and Chris. And she looks at Chris again, and she's just like, "Do you want me to tell him?" And I see him just shake his head no. And she looks at me and she's just like, "He thinks you and I want to have sex together." And I'm just like, "We don't." And I pick up my fucking Taco Bell and I keep going upstairs. I get halfway up the steps again, and she yells out, "He gave me a disease."
What?
Yeah. So that was awesome.
He gave you a disease? Like she said that about you?
No, she's saying
him.
He gave me a disease. Like she was saying that like he gave her a disease.
Okay.
And I said, okay. And then I went to my fucking room and locked the door.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. But I finally had a sit down with them the other night, Sarah on the phone as well. I'm just like, all right, listen, guys, like, this bullshit's got to stop. Like, no more calling me down for this random drama that I'm no part of. You need
Yeah.
help. If you need help working on things here and there, like, I don't mind helping out. If I'm standing around not doing anything, and you guys are in the middle of a little spat, because they would always want me to be this mediator in their fights,
Yeah.
but she would always look at me and be like, Alex, back me up here, like I'm supposed to
Oh
just
my
have her
God.
side, you know? And I'm just like, no, like, one, you're mostly on the wrong, so no, but but I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, you're both
To either of you.
assholes, so
All right, yeah. But when I finally had to talk with them the other night, though, I just said, you know, no more of that bullshit, and amongst a few other things. And I basically told them, by the way, like, I don't want to hear about anybody thinking that you want to have sex with me anymore.
right?
Sarah nor I want anything to do with that. It makes us extremely uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's so awkward.
luckily that kind of put an end to that, at least so far.
Dude, that's so funny. I can just see like Jane Lynch or someone playing the character. Like, Rick here, he's jealous because he thinks that I want to have sex with you. You know? Like,
Right.
as she's like touching your chest.
Right.
Like, tell him he's wrong and naughty.
Dude, you just not the voice, but when you said something about chest hair or whatever,
Yeah.
or something about the chest,
Touching your chest.
It reminded me of this
up,
time when
Isaiah?
I was younger. I walk outside when I was living at my mom's. I walk out and I was gonna go to my truck and, I don't know, go to a friend's house or something, and my mom is sitting in the hot tub with my stepdad,
Okay.
with another couple, like a friends of theirs, and all I hear is my mom say, "Do you like men hairy?" And this makes me look over, and I see my mom running her fingers through my stepfather's chest hair, and the other girl says, "Yeah," and then my mom goes, "Yeah, I like them hairy too," and she's stroking my stepdad's chest hair, and that's one of those things that will like forever be implanted in my memory.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
That, and plus,
And it's now gonna be implanted on my gaming channel.
yeah, you're right. But I remember. Oh man, I remember. So there's one point in my childhood that my room was right across the hallway from my mom and my stepdad, which is just awful. Don't ever do that to your children. But
Deal.
you know the movie Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
Remember the scene with the principal?
No.
You don't?
It's been so long.
Come on, man.
Right?
Oh man, you're gonna have to rewatch it. Maybe, hopefully, some of the listeners know exactly what I'm talking about. But there's a scene with the principal when the mother takes the principal home, and Forrest Gump, he sits outside and waits, and you hear what's going on, and the principal, he makes a pretty funny noise. Anyways, that's basically exactly what my stepdad sounded like, and I had to live across the hallway from that. It was brutal. It was absolutely fucking brutal.
That is brutal. Yeah, we've always been attentive to that. Like,
Right.
like, I don't know. Maybe that's a modern thing again. Like the boomers, you know.
Right.
The boomers didn't give a fuck about what, you know, but a lot of them did though. But maybe, you know, half of them were like more like their folks.
Sure.
Because I don't know, like I think the boomers started the whole like over parenting shit too. Like the helicopter parenting and stuff, you know? Like the end of the boomers.
Yeah, I think that there was certain ones that were definitely part of that.
And then whatever the next generation.
And then there's other ones that just were not present at all.
Yeah, like the hands-off method, which is still very much a thing.
Yeah, do as good as you can.
Yeah.
That was the method that I was handed. After
do as good as you
the
can.
Parents, yeah,
and not do your best.
Parents, right. It was after the parents' divorce. There was not much focus put on my schooling. There was way more concern about their dating life rather than making sure that I was doing well in school. I remember there was one year that they literally didn't see a single report card. Like, I knew when about the report cards would be getting mailed out, so I was checking the mailbox every single day at 3:15 or whatever I got off the bus. I would always intercept it, and I would burn it in the fire pit, and they literally never asked a single question. They didn't even realize that they weren't seeing my report card for a whole year.
Jeez.
And I was, of course, just failing miserably. I should probably, I'm assuming that the teachers probably said I should be held back, but my parents were probably just...
Yeah, we're like, no.
Yeah. No, he's fine. He's fine. Move on.
Yeah.
And I mean, looking back now, like, I know I could have done well in school. I know damn well I could have done very, very good in school, but I didn't care. I'd rather go home and ride the four-wheeler around the fields. Nobody was supervising me, making sure I did anything. So why sit and do homework?
Exactly. There's so much more you can be doing. But you had you had kind of like a classic childhood in a sense where you're kind of roaming free a little bit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, once I got to an age where I was able to hop on the four-wheeler and go places myself out in the country, there was no more supervision.
Yeah.
Probably should have been, though, because when I was 12 or 13, that's when I had my four-wheeler accident.
Really?
I had my friend on the back too.
Damn.
Luckily, it somehow missed him, but I was riding up a hill that I'd been on plenty of times. But with his weight on the back of it, it was just enough to flip it over backwards instead. And yeah, the four-wheeler came down from about 6 feet, 8 feet.
Jesus.
Up in the air, and he rolled out from underneath it somehow and came right down on me, and I broke 5 of my ribs and deflated both my lungs.
Holy shit. That was in the paper. Was that in the paper?
No.
That sounds like something that'd be in the paper in my town, my small town I grew up in.
I mean, if anybody had called it in, then it for sure would have been, but nobody called it in. Luckily the four-wheeler had bounced off of me after it happened, so I was able to get up and flip it, because it was just sitting on its side, so I was able to push it back onto its wheels.
Yep.
And I think my adrenaline was just still going crazy at that point, because I didn't really feel much, but I was able to feel down. I was feeling my rib cage, and I could feel that my ribs were just kind of moving around.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's not good. Should go get that checked out. And they said that I had a quarter of one lung to use once I got to the hospital. That's what the doctor said. But I never felt like that though. Like when I was breathing, I don't know if maybe that slowly happened as I was on my way to the hospital or something. But like when I stood up right after it happened, I was just like, I never felt short of breath, I guess. So I don't know. That was odd to me. But
probably
we
a lot of adrenaline playing a part.
Right. That could be. But it did start to hurt once I was on the way back home, though, because the only way home was through a chisel-plowed field. So
Jesus.
Suddenly we're bopping around for probably about a mile.
Yeah.
And finally pull to the house drive and pull in. And Mom wouldn't have realized anything had happened if it wasn't for my bleach blonde hair at the time. I had long, like probably down to my cheeks, bleach blonde hair. And when the four-wheeler landed on me, luckily it had rained the night before, so the ground was a little soft.
Yeah.
But it pushed my head into the ground, and the grass ended up staining my hair green. So when I was walking up to the house, she's just like, "What happened?" And I had to explain it to her, and I, at that point, was starting to feel a little bit of the pain, And So she gets me in the car. My mom's just frantically driving me to Rochester, get me to St. Mary's.
Yep.
And I was feeling fine, honestly. Like I was leaned back in the passenger seat and just chilling. I was just, after everything that had just happened, I was just tired. I was just trying to relax and rest. And so I'm sitting in the passenger seat with my eyes closed, and Mom must have thought that I was like on the brink of death or something, because every 2 minutes she'd look over and she'd grab my body, like my shoulder, and start shaking me like, Alex, like thinking that I just died on her.
Yeah.
And here I am with broken ribs trying to just rest. I'm just like, fuck, I'm fine.
Right?
I'm alive.
I'm alive, just broken ribs.
It was brutal.
Oh, man.
Yeah, what was nice about that was my 8th grade year, and I got to skip out on the last 3 months of school, which I was happy about.
Wow, nice. That's a good year for it.
Right. I ended up going on the last day of school just to go say hi and a final goodbye to everybody, because after that I ended up going to Rochester for high school.
Oh, really? Really? To St. Which one? Mayo? Or
Rochester off
Marshall?
campus.
Oh, is that like yeah. I think I know what that is.
It's a charter school.
I think I've heard they changed it now, right? Something different.
Most at least back when I went there anyway, most of the kids that went there, from what I understood anyway, were the kids that got kicked out of basically every other high school in town and didn't really have another option.
Like ALC kind of?
I don't know what ALC is, I guess.
It used to be like alternative learning center.
Oh, okay.
But
no, it's like a normal high school. It's just I guess I don't really know.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like it's like distance learning
classes. Kind of.
Basically.
It was like all the same classes, because I remember I would have the same books that my friends were having at Zumbrota Mazeppa.
Yeah.
But it was just way more chill, which I liked. But anyways, I was like the only kid there that I knew of anyway that like didn't get kicked out of any school. I just chose to go there.
Yeah.
The reason being is because the first day I walked in there, because I was just checking out schools in Rochester, and I walked in there, and the principal walks up. He's like, "What's up? I'm Jay." I was just like, I like the vibe here. I think I'll come here. And
nice.
Yeah, every teacher went by their first name. They treated you like you're an actual like human being. They even treated us like adults. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
They would. It's not like they were vulgar by any means, but they would swear around us. They just treated us normally. And yeah, I don't know, something about having a teacher show respect for you makes you more willing to show them respect and do what they want you to do, kind of thing. So that was a major game changer for me in school anyway. And yeah, my whole high school career was much different. I ended up graduating early, and I would say all thanks to the fact that I went there instead of what's deemed a normal school, because I've got ADD way too bad to sit in any normal class.
Hashtag unmedicated ADD, bro.
Right?
That's me too. Like, I'm gonna try to do.
There's plenty of things like that where like I feel like I should have been checked out. Like nobody thought, hey, check her for ADD. Nobody.
Well, my situation is that my sister got diagnosed with it, and so my mom thought there was some sort of a stigma. I'm like, there's no stigma about this. Like, I'm in school. There's no stigma about this. Like,
right.
And they were always so worried about it with my sister. Like, don't tell anyone you have this or whatever. And like, that's the pills. Yeah. The pills weren't even any good back then, Like,
see, I just like I felt like I had it back then, and I enjoyed using it as an excuse.
Yeah. See, I never used it as an excuse or like even knew I had it. Yeah, see, I mean, that would have been, I suppose that's a problem. So that's be more of a worry, that could have been a worry than the stigmatism, like, or the stigma. Right. Is it stigmatism? No, it's not, but the stigma of it.
I'm not the person to ask for that. I have a horrible big vocabulary.
I know what astigmatism is, but anyway, so yeah, that's what like, and so I'm kind of bummed that my folks didn't like get that under control. I think that, I mean, I'm kind of glad. Obviously, I'd be in a totally different place in my life if I was like on like Ritalin and Adderall my whole life.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be like probably like a Wall Street like millionaire, or like CEO of some company. No joke, I probably would.
Right.
But because
No,
I just
hear ya.
my
Like,
distraction, like I think everyone should take that shit. I mean, I don't, because I personally am trying. You know, I don't want to do that. That's why I've chosen not to like get diagnosed or, you know.
I feel like unmedicated.
I've gotten
ADD
diagnosed for it. I just haven't like been like, okay, I want to get on meds, because I know where that'll go. You know, it'll just be like, now I'm on the meds and now I'm the same person. You know, or maybe it'll be like, okay, now I can't live without the meds and I have to be this person now. You know.
Right.
I'd rather just be who I am. And
I feel like,
at this point in my life,
I feel like a lot of the times that ADD goes unmedicated, that's what creates the artists.
Exactly. And like, I've learned how to like, you know, I've been kept a business going for 10 years now. So like, I've been able to do it. And like, yeah, that's what you're getting. I don't,
Right.
You're getting unmedicated,
and,
Chris.
Once you get to, yeah, right. Once you get to our age, you already like what you do too much. You don't really want to shift gears that hard.
Yeah. Yep. And I learned how to work with it. Like I can't remember what the method is. The something method where you take break. You do like, you work for a half hour, you take a 5-minute break. Work for a half hour, take a 5-minute break. And
I do that. It's just the other way around.
Socratic method, I think it's called. You work for 5 minutes, take a half-hour break.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna write for 5 minutes and then I better sit for a half hour and think.
That's great. Seriously though, but yeah, you hit the nail on the head. The creative type. Yeah.
I think there's definitely something to that for sure. If I had been medicated for it, I probably would have done something more business-esque.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I would have gone to law school probably, is what I'm thinking. Because I remember wanting to be a lawyer, and then in college, I took pre-law.
At one point.
Did you?
Yeah.
I wonder what that is.
Really did. The reason that I got turned on to it actually originally, what I thought I wanted to be anyway, is because my parents always told me that I was too good at arguing and that I should be a lawyer.
Yeah, same here. Yep.
It was like, fuck yeah, if I can make a living out of arguing with people, sure.
Yep. Who knew you had to go to all the school and pass these tests and
Right.
read all this boring history about history of law.
Seriously. I don't know. I could never focus enough in a normal school setting. Like I said, I went to school for carpentry. That was a hands-on thing. I got through it just fine. Ended up in cosmetology after that. Completely switched up the pace, but still wasn't just sitting in a normal classroom crunching numbers. And I thought I'd try for engineering, being that my dad's an engineer. But as soon as I started taking the classes, like I'm actually really good with math. I enjoy solving problems, but to sit in the class and say, okay, here's how you do this equation. Now do it 120 times tonight. I'm like, fuck that. This is boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I took like business law, and I was like, nope.
Oh, sure. But yeah, so I stopped going to school for that and ended up going to school for firefighting.
Amanda thinks you're extremely interesting.
Oh yeah, thanks, Amanda. Appreciate it.
Yes, he is. I'm only chat with interesting people on here. If their video is active, they're interesting.
Yeah. So what else has been going on in Minnesota since I've been gone?
God, I wouldn't know. I haven't really left the house, to be completely frank. No, I mean, I leave for shoots and I go, you know, I'm doing the same thing as everyone else, just trying to stay home and
Sure.
just like, yeah.
That's not what the people around here are doing at all.
That's what it sounds like. Like, I don't know. There's like, it's funny because like I'll drive. I don't have much reason to go downtown anymore. Where I used to go downtown, you know, at least once a week for something, like a meeting at least or something. And
right, sure.
yeah, and like now, like I'll just drive through there on the way home from somewhere just to kind of like look at downtown a little, you know. And
right.
yeah, and like no, I'm noticing like, oh, they tore that building down, and then like the next time I drive through downtown is like a month later. I'm like, oh, they like built a building right there. Like, downtown is still growing, whether or not there's a pandemic. Apparently.
Right. Yeah, laborers don't care.
Yeah.
At all.
Yep. And yeah, I'm like, personally, like I'm working on some stuff that's pretty interesting, like in development. Like I'm possibly like, well, we just haven't talked about it. We'll probably talk about it at our shoot tomorrow, but there's a local guy that is like a client of mine that we're talking about starting like a studio space so that people can rent it, or we can use it he can use it to shoot his content, and I can use it to shoot content for my clients.
Sweet.
So we're working on something like that.
Cool.
Like I've been loving like just having my home studio here, but at the same time, having a place to go I think I miss that aspect of it. And now that yeah.
I feel like it would keep me more focused if it was like an actual like,
yeah,
this is my workplace kind of thing, you know?
But I mean, I would only go there to shoot. But then at least if like, okay, I'm going to do a shoot there, then at least I can like post up there for the day and kind of like, you know, okay, here, I'm going to go into the studio and like do a shoot today. And I kind of, I don't know. It's different. It's something where you can have a controlled environment that you feel comfortable in instead of just always going to some spot, trying to find a place that's quiet, trying to find this and that.
Right.
You know, you can really just have a blank canvas to work with, which I don't always need, but it'll be nice to have access to it.
Right.
And then of course it's gonna
use the farm too.
Really? Well, good to know.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, when it's warmer out
exactly.
anyway, I'm sure you don't want to sit outside in the cold again.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. COVID has changed my business a little bit, but overall, it's just saving me time. Because people like call me and they're like, hey, this is what I want to do. Like, when can you do it? And I'm like, all right, this is my questions, and here's what it's going to cost. And
you learn ways to expedite the process.
Exactly. And that's how I always like wanted, you know, that's how I've always liked doing it. And there's some clients that do it that way. But now that COVID, it's like, it's just like, that's how everyone's doing it. And it's nice. It just saves me a lot of time that I didn't charge people for.
Well, I mean, if there's one thing that it taught me, though, is like, can be remote, you know, and I think a lot of employers have learned this now, too.
Say that again, because you cut out.
Oh, sorry.
That was the perfect time to cut out. When we're talking about how great it is to be remote.
No, yeah, just that how many jobs can be done remotely.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of employers are learning that, and not only that, but just that in some ways I've heard, you know, some of the studies have shown that people have been even more productive being able to just work from home.
Mm-hmm.
But I have, you know, I have highly considered trying to find a job that I can work remotely. I have no idea what it'd be that I want to even necessarily get into yet, but I'm keeping my eyes and ears open for any possibility, because I think I would enjoy that a lot more, especially being that I constantly decide to travel like this.
Yeah.
I'm just lucky enough to have a boss that's so awesome that lets me take a hiatus like this every once in a while for a few months.
That's awesome. Lets you come back whenever you want.
Right. So, but I would like to eventually find something that I could just work from home, or, you know, just take my take my laptop somewhere and work from
Dude.
wherever I am.
You would love it. Maybe you should start doing voiceovers.
I thought about that actually. I've been looking a lot more on the Backstage site for opportunities like that too, and been applying for them.
Yep. Yeah, one of my buddies here is gonna start doing voiceovers. Like he's gonna
really?
just start a Fiverr. He's like always kind of wanted to do it, and
Sure.
so Carrie's just like giving him all her information, like what she did to try to
right.
make a living doing it.
Mm-hmm. She did pretty darn well with it, didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, it only took her 9 months till she could basically do just that. But
Okay.
9 months of grinding her other sources,
Right.
Source of, we always say, like, if you want to freelance or be an artist, you got to have a source of income until your art can pay for everything.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Or until you can save.
And you're right. Well, I mean, that's exactly why I want to find something like that where I can just work remotely and supplement my income till I can make it big in something.
Oh, and Amanda's noticing that you're driving. When when we first started the podcast or the interview of the live stream, we had to start the live stream over, and I don't know what people caught, what people missed, but
Oh yeah.
yeah. So Alex is apparently in his car in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
You should before you leave us, you should show us something, even if it's just like a tree. Since we've got people from all over the country, all over the world, actually. We got people
definitely
in the chat sometimes from Australia. We got a couple friends in the chat from England, one from India, but they're not. I don't know who is all watching, but
Right.
at some point, you just like show us
Can I
something.
flip the camera?
Sure.
This is the neighborhood that I live in anyway.
Nice. You can't tilt it up, I suppose.
Yeah, I can.
There we go. Yep, perfect. Austin,
But,
Texas.
Yeah, I was pissed though because I was so excited about the weather here on my way down, and then like 4 or 5 days later, they had a snowstorm here.
Are you kidding me?
No.
What?
Yeah, they got like
How far south is Austin in Texas?
it's in the southern half.
That's what I
Not all
thought.
the way towards the tip by any means, but it's in the southern half, and somewhat close to the Gulf. I can get to the Gulf, I think, in like 2 hours.
Yeah, and Amanda's Russian.
Right on. I was just looking up random Russian facts last night, actually, because I saw some TikTok video about some protests and stuff, and police just going nuts over there last night. So I was just like, what the heck is going on over there? I didn't.
Yeah, what is going on over there?
Sounded like they're protesting I forget what his name is, but there's some guy that's in. Like,
Oh yeah, the guy that got tear gassed or whatever, or got like poisoned.
Yeah, he got poisoned. Yeah, when he's in in a different country or something like that. But he's leading this protest movement against Putin or something to like not be president anymore, I guess. I don't know. It sounds like shit's really hitting the fan over there.
And they're just trying to fascist him away.
Right.
Hey, let's just squash him.
Right. I think we should just send some of our. We have enough protesters anyway, so we can probably spare some to go help.
Right. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Like, it's cool to see them doing something, but
Right.
what does
Yeah, but
Amanda
the police
think?
are relentless over there. They like the videos I was seeing. The police were just brutal, like just bashing
Really?
people in the head with batons and shit. Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, so what else did you learn about Russia?
Not too much more. I didn't spend too much time diving deep,
Nice.
but I was more so just curious why the heck I saw that video of police beating the living crap out of protesters.
God, yeah. Yeah, so you moved. You were hoping you could do some comedy when you moved down there.
open.
But I thought Joe Rogan was gonna fix everything.
I don't think that was his claim, but
I know. I heard rumors that like Joe Rogan moved to Austin because they could do comedy there, and
right. Well, I mean that's a big reason that I decided to move here. You know, one being that Texas was a little bit more lenient on the laws, at least from what I heard and understood, that they weren't really closing things down nearly as much as the rest of the country. And Rogan moved here, and I heard him in one of his podcasts saying that he's putting up the bat signal for comedians to come down here. And I was like, well, can't go to LA and get in the store anymore, so guess I'll try Austin. And I was actually reading a book around the same time called Get Out of Your Own Way. And the guy in the book was talking about, he was like he had a high up position for Disney, and he was like in charge of getting all the Marvel movies and Disney movies into theaters like across the globe, I guess. But anyways, he had this dream job making millions of dollars a year, and decided that he just didn't really like it anymore and gave it all up and decided to move to Austin, Texas. Like I said, it was around that same time I was thinking about it anyway. I was just like, well, that's odd, moving from LA to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like I had a bunch of different things saying, hey, go to Austin. So
it's awesome.
Just following my intuition, I guess.
Yeah. Sounds like you already have a lot of good stories from it. So.
Oh man, yeah, I'm starting to question my intuition.
Right. It's like, okay, just get a normal apartment and just stay away from people.
Right.
And I'll be fine.
I'm also keeping my fingers out there, trying to feel around, see if I can find any other place to live, because it's been chaotic living in this situation. Just ridiculous.
It's almost like you live like, remember when we were working on Cat Dude, the new season of Crazy Cat Dude, and like your character moved in with us, like with our characters. Yep. It's almost like you moved to that kind of.
Oh yeah, seriously.
But way more dramatic than what we were like even writing.
Right. Well, that's right actually. So
we should take that.
When I got here, she's like, "Hey, I got these 3 dogs there or whatever, right?"
Yeah.
So I get here, I'm feeding them. They have no food, so I have to go buy them food, get them food, bring it back, and then like a day or 2 later, she's like, "Oh, there's also a bearded dragon upstairs,
what?
and two cats, and oxalotl or something. It's called. It's a walking fish basically. It's this like catfish looking thing, but it has 4 legs and walks around." So I'm just like, okay. And she's like,
those are
that
real?
gets a half a worm every day.
The Dr. Seuss fish? Those things are real? Isn't that like what on Dr. Seuss?
I don't recall that from any. I wasn't much of a Dr. Seuss fan growing up.
Me either. I despised it. It creeped me out. Same with my kid. My kid hates Dr. Seuss.
They are weird.
Dr. Seuss.
Really weird, creepy.
Like we read a Dr. Seuss book and like we got bored of it, so I was just kind of like trolling and like I was like rapping. Like I'll rap the like bad rhyming books when I'm reading them to Davey because it's like it sounds like a bad freestyler who's trying to be really good.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Because it's like my structure is
you're so
A A B A C C A C C D D, bitch. That's my rhyme structure. Like, your rhyme structure is awkward to me.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're legitimately rhyming with made up words. It's not like it's
seriously
that much thought.
Yeah, like, yeah, yo, my poodle, I'm thinking about my doodle, my oodle foodle, groodle, joodle, stoodle boodle. Yeah, that's how my 4-year-old rhymes. Freestyle. Dad, freestyle rapping's easy. Yep, it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything's a widget. And there's infinite amounts of beats. So... Just if you miss the beat, just do another beat.
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
That's fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, what are you doing? Any? So, yeah. I suppose you can't. Like, were you gonna audition for anything? Like, were you gonna try to act out there?
Yeah, I saw that there's a lot more roles available out here anyway. That I did at least send my resume in. I haven't heard anything yet, though. I haven't put a lot of focus into that, but I probably should sit down one of these nights since I'm here and just send out a mass amount and see if anything hits.
Right.
But otherwise, I've been sleeping all day.
Staying up all night. Did you I was gonna say, yeah, you just said that you were up all night, right? Like you haven't gone to sleep yet?
Actually, yeah, I haven't gone to sleep yet today, actually. I'm trying to flip my schedule back around. The best way for me to do that is to just stay up as long as I possibly can, because just trying to fall asleep when you're not tired, impossible.
Yeah, exactly. I've been there. I stream live late and then like it's been like I push it like further and further because like we got like a bunch of people watching, so I'm gonna stay on and like entertain these folks.
Oh,
and
right,
then,
right.
like all of a sudden it's like 5 in the morning. I'm like, oh god, I gotta like work myself back to like more to what my schedule is supposed to be.
Right.
But
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do anyway. So I'm kind of glad you actually called, because I was ready to fall asleep around 1 o'clock.
Nice. So you're like, I'm just gonna. Now
Pushing
you like
me a
try to
little
push
bit
ahead.
later. Right. Seems like every day I can push it like another hour in the right direction.
What's that from? Like from doing that gig with the kids?
Just not having a job.
Oh yeah. Just not having a job, just
right.
Floating.
It seriously it's what would keep me on a regular sleeping schedule for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Back home.
Oh yeah, that must explain my life. Like if I had a 9 to 5.
I've always been way more productive at night, anyways. Though, like
Same here.
I don't know what it is. I think it's just that the whole world is asleep. You know, nobody's doing things around you. I feel like the distractions are. There are no more distractions. Nobody's trying to text you or get a hold of you.
Yep.
I feel like I can just focus on one thing finally and hammer through it at night.
Yep.
I don't know.
I agree.
I've just always been such a natural night owl.
Same here.
As soon as I'm not like on a regular working schedule, automatically I'm just up all night, and I just feel better. Like if I fall asleep somewhere between like 5 and 7 in the morning and get up early afternoon, that's like prime time for me. I don't know what it is, but that's like my favorite schedule to have. I always feel
what was it
way
again?
more rested.
What was the times?
Like if I fall asleep between like 5 and 7 in the morning and wake up like early to mid afternoon,
yeah, dude,
that's my favorite.
Same here. That's pretty much my schedule now, actually. It's like 4 to 11 is when I sleep usually. So that gets pushed to like 5 to noon or 6 to 1, 6 to noon. But I used to like I'd work all night anyway. Like I used to kind of like I'd sleep in and then I'd work in the afternoon, do my meetings, whatever, shoots if I had half day shoots, and then work late at night, but after COVID, I just kind of decided to do whatever I want. Like in the sense of like just work. I'm kind of always working all the time anyway. So I'm kind of getting back to like how my life was before I had kids, It was just like working all the time and not working all the time.
Right.
And getting stuff done like quickly, but it doesn't matter when I do it, instead of like, oh, I gotta work 8 to 4 every day and I take a lunch break at noon for 40 minutes. I allow myself,
Well, that's what I would like so much about working remotely instead. Like there's still a lot of jobs that are just like you have to be clocked in at 8 o'clock, whatever, and yada yada. But I know that there's other jobs where if I they're a lot more lenient. Like, just make sure that this work is done in this day or by this time.
Yep.
Do it whenever you want. Kind of like your job.
Yep.
I'd much rather find something like that. That way I can just do it when I want to and have whatever schedule that I want to have.
Yep. Yeah, it's like some of my friends are like doing the same things I do, and they're like, their boss is like, you have to be logged into the Skype or whatever, and then like you have to show online or whatever, and like you have to answer right when the boss calls and all this stuff, and it's like, oh, it's so restrictive. Like, how am I gonna ever get any work done if I'm so busy worrying about if it looks like I'm working?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I get it from being like a boss, like perspective. Like, no, I'm not a boss, but I'm like, if I was a boss of people, I would totally get like, yeah, I want my employees working nonstop. Like, I'm paying them, for every minute of the day.
Right.
But
well, see, but one of my friends, he works for a place where he's making videos and whatnot for a company, and they're like that with him. Like, they really want to make sure that they're working on their time, whatever. And it's just dumb to me. Like, if you need these projects done today, as long as they're getting done, what more can you really want or ask for? Because that's all you really wanted from them that day anyway. So as long as they're getting the work done, then what do you care if they decide to take their lunch at 10 instead of noon?
Yeah.
It just shouldn't matter. I get that some things, they, if they do want to have a meeting, like, okay, yeah, everybody has to be on at 1 or whatever, but otherwise, who cares when they decide to do their work?
Yep. Yeah, that's where, like, hopefully we'll start moving more towards that type of thing. But
I think if there's one good thing that did come out of this is that we did realize that, a lot of businesses have realized that they can, let that leash go a little bit more loosely around their employees' necks and allow them the space they need to get the work that they want done.
Yep. Well, I know, like, one of my clients, Mayo Clinic, everyone that I work with there works from home. Like, all the creative staff, like, anytime I'm, like, doing a project with them, like, they'll be like, do you want to meet on a certain day or whatever? And then, like, we're, like, both walking in from the parking ramp at the same time to, like, wherever we meet, like, they're not on campus.
Right.
I'm like, wait, what? Wait, you're not on campus? No, like, and then eventually over the years, like, now none of those people are on campus. Like, and the last one now moved because of COVID off campus and doesn't have an office there. So literally none of my clients there work in that building, in those buildings,
Sure.
They're all just in home offices now during Zoom meetings. But I like that. And they've been doing that for a while because, like, they save so much money. Like, it costs way less if you have your employees working in their home office than entire floors that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Yeah, and that was one thing that I pointed out too to my friend. I'm just like, because they're trying really hard to get all the employees to come back to the office, and it just doesn't make sense to me. As long as everybody's being productive and getting their work done, now you don't have to pay for this big ass building anymore either, and pay for the lights to be on all day.
Yeah.
It just seems like a huge way to save money, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah, when I had like a office studio space for a couple years, I remember, well, you were in there because that was when we met.
Yep.
You were one of my only meetings in there when I met with your band.
Really? Oh, that's funny.
I had maybe 5 meetings in there with clients. And it was like, I just did that because I wanted to try to, like, utilize that space that I had because I was justifying the rent.
Right. Yeah.
Like, okay, I can meet clients here. That's one of the benefits.
Right. And yeah, and that's also a good thing in your predicament, because who knows how weird the client's going to be. Do you want them to know where you live?
Yeah, exactly. But then people ended up wanting to just meet at coffee shops and stuff anyway, or at their own businesses.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I suppose.
So
It's always an option.
yeah, I was just like, okay, why do I even have this space now? I never shoot anything here.
Right.
I don't ever meet anyone here. I literally come here and then I'm like, I want to work at home, so I'll pack up everything that I need to work from home, but it's not perfect because it's not my faster computer. And then I forgot something on the other computer, so I have to like log in. Oh, my computer shut down early for some reason, so I can't remotely log in. I literally have to drive there now. Or I'd pack for a shoot, and then every time I'd pick up Dan, and then Dan would meet me at my house, and then he'd be like, did you grab this? And I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't grab it. So we'd go all the way to the studio to grab one thing.
Yeah. Especially in that line of work, it's got to be so much easier to just have everything in one spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it.
Because I know, if I ever want to go out and take pictures or anything like that, that's why I don't have nearly as much stuff as you when it comes to camera equipment, but I try my best anyways. As soon as I'm done with any of my camera shit, it's all right back into one bag, so that way if I ever am going somewhere to shoot something, I just know I have everything in that bag, because it's far too common that you forget something.
Yeah.
Kind of like when we went to that shoot up in northern Wisconsin.
I know.
To shoot that quartet or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot that one adapter for the lens that just changed everything.
Right. Yeah.
The entire way we shot the entire thing had to change because that one adapter wouldn't let me use that one lens on that one camera.
and we even tried to search for a store that might have one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we went to Best Buy, and then I called Target and Walmart.
Yeah, because we were we were a good 6-7 hours or something from home, weren't we?
Yeah. I know, that was I'm surprised that Best Buy didn't have anything. I learned that day that they literally just have Canon and Nikon stock.
That's right.
Basic bullshit.
Yep, that's right.
They don't have anything unique. Unique New York.
Speaking of filming, I really do want to get to that mashup tune that I made. I do want to get to filming that when I get back. I think that'd be a really good one.
I swear I heard someone mash up that song in some way. It wasn't the same kind of thing. I swear I heard that song and something else on. Maybe it was a TikTok or something. It was one of those songs.
I did make a TikTok before it was actually recorded. I just made one where I sang that song over the other one. So maybe
it could have been you, I guess. I don't know. It reminded me of that. Whatever it was.
Right.
But yeah, anything else what else you been working on? I'll let you go here soon too, but anything else you're working on? Any other crazy shit happening down there?
Mainly just kind of sitting and waiting for everything to open back up, like I said, unfortunately. But I've heard that somebody bought the Capital City Comedy Club. So I'm hoping once they, because from what I understand, the COVID numbers are moving the right way now. So hopefully they'll start opening things back up. And I would love to be here when everything starts opening, because if I can get to one of those comedy clubs and say, hey, I want a job, even, make me a bartender, make me a bouncer, make me whatever.
Yeah.
Make me a waitress.
Which now it's COVID.
Right. But once they do start opening back up, though, even if I can just land a job somewhere there, just to get me in, get my foot in the door, and then start maybe taking some spots whenever they need a filler, because down here I have no connections. When I was out in LA, I at least had I had wasn't my what's it called? Why am I? Oh yeah, I haven't slept in like 24 hours.
I'll do it.
But he wasn't my agent, but he was like this promoter of sorts. Anyways, he was the one calling me and emailing me and getting me jobs at the store and at the ice house and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a great connection to have out there. And I emailed him since I got here, and he basically just said the same thing, that so and so bought the Cap City and we'll be opening it once COVID gets gets a little less nasty anyway. But so just waiting on that and hoping to hit the ground running as soon as it starts opening. But I'm just hoping that is while I'm still here.
Yeah, you should just try to get a hold of Joe Rogan and be like, I'll work for you for free. Like, I don't got anything to do. Like, what do you need? I'll watch your kids. No, yeah, like I'll wash your laundry or something. I don't know.
I'll watch your.
Is that a thing people? I'll wash your kids. Is that a thing people do anymore? I mean, like, it sounds like.
Well, I actually saw it like on the west side of Austin. That seems to be where a lot of those figures are moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the expensive part. But I went out on that road. It was kind of one of those intuition moments again. The number 2 has always been really lucky in my family. And I saw this road that was 2222. I was like, oh, fuck it. So I took it and drove out a little ways and found this little restaurant and stopped at it. And it was just a little barbecue place and really, really pretty good actually. But kind of asked them if they were looking for any help there, servers, bartenders, anything like that. Done plenty of that in my past. Just because I felt like I was in the right area to maybe meet some people that might point me in the right direction. But they weren't hiring. But the manager that I talked to, he even happened to mention, actually, he was just like, oh yeah, Joe Rogan was just in here 2 weeks ago, and this other guy, he lives right up the road as well, and this other guy, he's over here. And I could just get a job at a place like that just to get within earshot of them.
Yeah.
And maybe make a connection, something. But
you should
so
email.
Just hasn't happened.
You should email Pauly Shore and be like, "Hey, dude, Pauly, remember me from the comedy store? How's it? Like, do you think I could get Joe's number?"
You're right.
You're like, I forgot to get it that night.
Right. Knowing myself, I probably could pull off an act like that, but I would feel too dirty doing it.
I know. Just be honest. Just be like, I moved to Austin, like.
Right.
Could you call Joe?
That's one strange thing that I noticed. So, like, I lived out there for a few months or whatever, and I ended up, that's how I got into comedy. I didn't even move out there for it, but it just kind of landed in my lap. But after kind of seeing some of the guys out there and now listening to a lot of their podcasts even more, like Joe Rogan's and Tom Segura's, Bert Kreischer's, they're like my main 3 that I just love them. But I've listened to their podcasts so much.
What's up, Connor?
They make so many of them that, like, you feel like you're such a part of their lives. Like, you know so much about these people. And there's a thought in my head at one point when I thought I was going to be moving back out to LA like a year later, that I was just like, oh, can't wait to get back out there and get in the store again and see Bert and Tom. Oh, it'd be so nice to see those guys again. And I was like, oh, wait, you fucking weirdo. You don't know them.
You're living in this fantasy world.
Yeah, don't walk up to them and pretend like they know you.
Right.
But no, that was a surreal experience out there. That was one of the highlights of my life, is getting into the store. Did I tell you about that? How that all happened?
You told me, but yeah, I mean, obviously our viewers don't know anything about it.
So yeah, I move out there just to try to.
Actually, while you're telling this, I'm gonna mute my mic for 1 second.
All right. so you can
So
fart.
keep talking. I'm actually gonna pour myself a cup of coffee, but just keep talking until I come back. You're hosting the show now for a sec.
Oh, great, cool. So no, anyways, I move out to LA in pursuit of acting, and my ex, well,
Oh, I forgot I was
at
in the
the
middle of a
time-
game. It started already. Shit. I'm still here. I'm host again.
no worries. All right, cool. I didn't like the pressure anyway. But no, so I move out there, and my girlfriend at the time, she forwards me a Craigslist ad that was it just said looking for new material, new comedians, whatever. Respond saying why you think you'd be a good comedian, and I ended up responding to it and was just like, well, people are always laughing at me anyway, so might as well try this out kind of attitude. And sure enough, that promoter I was talking about, he gets back to me. He's just like, okay, be here this day, this time, this address. And yeah, I show up, and I knew I was not in the comedy scene at all at that point in my life. I didn't really know much about it. Obviously, I'd watched some stand-up specials here and there on Netflix or elsewhere, but didn't know much about it at all. So I pull up to this place, and it's called the Comedy Store. And they said to go to the main room, so I walk up and I get signed in or whatever, and I'm back in the green room, which is actually painted pink. But that's when I start to realize like what a big deal this place is, because like I see these pictures, like signed images of all these comedians that have been here, and like I see big time comedians and like actors, that used to be comedians, or both, vice versa. But I start to kind of realize what a big deal this place was, and I'm standing back and I'm by these other people that are just trying to be comedians. And by the way, to be around people that are trying to make it as comedians, they are the most annoying people to be around.
Oh, I know, right?
Because it's always switched on. It's always switched on. Like everything they say has to be like this quick-witted one-liner, like everything they say, they have to try to be funny. Right?
Right, yeah.
And like, oh, fuck, just shut the fuck up, leave me alone, But this one guy, he's a little bit older. He looks like he's maybe in his mid-50s or something, and he eventually walks up to me. He's got that same attitude, so I'm just already just rolling my eyes, trying to avoid him, but eventually he's just like, oh, so how long you been at this? And
oh, yeah. How long you been on the grind?
Right, yeah. And I was just like, oh, it's my first day, and he laughs. He laughs, and he's just like, all right, no, seriously, how long you been at this? I was like, no, this is legitimately like my first day ever doing this. And he gets this real stern, serious look on his face, like pissed off, and he looks at me and he just goes, fuck you.
Oh my God.
Excuse me? And he's just like, and he leans in real close, and he's just like, I've been at this 16 years. I'm just now finally getting into this place. I was like, well, I answered a Craigslist ad, so you've been going about this all wrong.
Oh
I don't know
my
what to tell you, buddy.
God. That's hilarious.
So I get up that first night, and it was the night that it was the day after I found out that my girlfriend, who sent me that email, it was the day after I found out that she was breaking up with me. She had cheated on me, and I wasn't having a good day. Turns out I didn't get any sleep the night before at all. Show up to this place, and it's all I'm thinking about, because I'm just pissed off, I'm sad, I'm anything but fucking funny,
You're not feeling very funny. It's like a girl saying, I wasn't feeling very sexy.
right. But it gets to be where I'm the next person on stage, and like that's when it hits me. Like I'm standing behind the curtains about 2 minutes before I go out, and that's when it hits me. Like, oh shit, I'm at the comedy club, and I'm about to walk on stage, and I'm supposed to be funny. I have nothing. I have fucking nothing in my head for this. And then all of a sudden I second guess myself. I'm just like, wait, did he just call my name? Like, I think he might have just called my name. And I step out because I thought he did. So now I'm standing behind the MC, who's still talking. And I'm just standing there like, well, fuck, do I go back behind the curtain? That would look more stupid, I think. So I'm just going to stand here and keep looking stupid, I guess. And I just stand there and suck it up. And everybody's looking at me, and I'm just awkward as fuck, and they all start laughing. And the MC, who's been trying to be funny all night and just failing miserably, thinks he's now finally getting the crowd, you know. And he's just like, you know, cool. So now he keeps working his bits longer and longer,
Yeah.
and I'm just standing there, and they're all now the whole crowd's just laughing hysterically because this guy doesn't even realize I'm standing behind him, and I just look awkward as fuck. And he finally is like, all right. Next up is Alex Mulholland. He goes to like whip his hand back to like present me, but he hits me in the chest because I'm standing right behind him. He's like, Alex Mulholland. And he looks at me like, what the fuck? And he's like, Alex Mulholland. And he hands me the mic. And I go to the front of the stage, and I'm still just drawing blanks. I'm just like, what the fuck am I gonna say? And I go to the front of the stage, and I'm just like, all I could muster up was, hey. And then I just sat there, just frozen. And again, the whole crowd just starts chuckling a little bit, and then they start laughing, and they start laughing harder, and then all of a sudden they're all just like really laughing, and all of them just, hey, they just like the whole room just, hey, back at me. I was like, well, that was fucking easy, and I don't even remember how I really went from there, but I just remember I ended up just bitching about girls the whole night because I was so pissed off at my ex-girlfriend, and evidently they found it hilarious because the promoter got a hold of me and he's just like, all right, we want you to keep coming.
Dude, that's
awesome. How it all worked out from there. But yeah, anyways, my second time there, though, I was walking in front of the place, and
I'm actually gonna let you host. You're gonna host for a sec.
Yeah, no worries.
Getting a cup of coffee.
Cool. But no, I'm walking in front of the place, and like I said, I was completely unfamiliar with the comedy scene at this point. No idea really yet what the Comedy Store even is. But as I'm walking by the front, there's this little outdoor bar area that's kind of on Hollywood Boulevard there. And I look over, and at one of the tables, I see this guy that looks like Pauly Shore. I'm just like, fuck. I look at my friends, and I was like, dude, that guy looks just like Pauly Shore. And I look back, and I was like, wait a second. And that's when it dawned on me, like, oh yeah, dipshit, you're in Hollywood. That's probably Pauly Shore. And my friends at that point, they're like, yeah, dude, he owns the place. I'm like, oh, shit, cool. So I go up and I do my bit that night, and I ended up telling this, what I think is still just a stupid joke, but I cracked a joke about turtles because of their recycling habits out there. I'd gone to Target that day. I'm used to the Midwest. When you go shopping at a grocery store, you get all checked out, and they're just like paper or plastic, and you have your pick. But I'm at Target this day, and I'm living like a college student at that point because everything's so damn expensive out there. So I have these 30 cups of ramen lined up, and as she's scanning them, she looks at me and she's like, "Do you want these in bags?" And I was just so taken back like that. I'm like, what? Like, no, I want to carry all of these out individually. But so I cracked a joke about it that night, and I said something about everybody's so worried about the fucking turtles, and something about how it's always turtles in the pictures you see online, and at some point we got to stop blaming the humans for littering and start blaming these fucking turtles. And or no, I said I'm used to it back home where they say paper or plastic, and I said I'll take plastic, fuck the turtles, and everybody evidently got a laugh out of that. But I go backstage afterwards, and I'm sitting in the pink room. And I'm trying my best to avoid all of these shitty comedians the best I can. So I'm sitting over in the corner by myself. And all of a sudden I see a head poke through the beaded doorway. And I kind of look up, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Pauly Shore. And he's looking around the room at the rest of the comedians, just looking, scanning the place. And all of a sudden he looks over at me, and he's just like, oh, there you are. And I was like, fuck, he's looking for me. And he steps through the rest of the way and goes to shake my hand. So I shake his hand, and he's just like, I loved your turtle joke, man. So thanks, Pauly Shore. And I wanted so badly, because my sister was such a huge fan of him growing up, wanted so badly to get a picture of him and have him say making copies or something like that to send to my sister, but I couldn't muster up the courage to do so. So
that's funny.
Ended up just meeting them, and it was still just a neat experience, especially for him to just compliment me on a joke and come find me afterwards. That was
a dream.
Pretty neat. Right, yeah.
Yeah. But, like Pauly Shore.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
of all people.
that's
Yeah, the
great.
next couple times I went there, it was it's such a cool place because it's where so many huge comedians will go and just work out their new bits, and they'll just show up unannounced. So whenever I show up for my spots, I'd be backstage and I'd go to take my spot, and all of a sudden I realized that Bill Burr is going on right after me.
Wow.
It's just crazy. Like, and there's always
If that was a band thing, the bands would be putting like open for Bill Burr or whatever.
right, yeah, exactly.
Known for opening for Bill Burr 3 times at the Comedy Store.
That reminds me of this other time. So when I was playing with Embrace the Ending, we went up for a show in the cities, and we were opening for Trapped that night. I didn't even realize that there was still a band. But
Me
once
either.
I found out, right? Once I found out that I was opening up for them, though, I looked them up and I saw that they had some recent albums, and I was listening to them again, and there was a couple songs that I really digged, and kind of had them on my playlist. But we go to play the show that day, and as they're doing sound check, the singer hasn't come out of the RV all day. He's you can tell he's still just kind of full of himself, even though they're now obviously not selling out stadiums anymore. But
Right.
he's still
They're
pretty
still
full
popular
of himself.
with some like boomer post metal heads, like
Yeah.
new metal heads.
Right. But so he's not even coming out, and his band is doing sound check. Well, it was his drum tech doing sound check, and then his actual lead guitarist. They were up on stage, and as they're playing through a couple songs, all of a sudden they start playing one of the new ones that I'd been listening to quite a bit. And I'm looking around like, man, this guy's not even coming out to do his sound check. So I was like, well, fuck it. It's just us bands hanging out at that point. So I hop up on stage, I grab the mic, and I just start singing it. And all of a sudden he comes bursting through the back door. But you could tell he was just pissed. Like, somebody singing my fucking song. And he walks up on stage and he just grabs the mic stand out of my hand, and then he starts singing. I was like, whatever, fuck you, asshole. Like, you weren't coming to do your own damn sound check. Like,
What was their big song? I liked one of their songs.
What's the big deal?
What's the big deal?
Their one hit wonder was Headstrong back in the day.
Headstrong.
Right.
Something like that.
Back off, I'll take you on. Headstrong, I'll take you on anyone.
Yeah, that new metal, the like really compressed screaming.
Right. Yeah.
I was into that for a while. Like it was like pre-hardcore for me. Like growing up, listening to music that didn't have screaming in it, and it was like, yeah, this guy's screaming, yeah.
I remember I got the Linkin Park CD, the first one, from my brother or something like that for Christmas one year, and I was listening to it like on my little CD player in the back seat with my headphones on, and my mom overheard it, and she told me that she didn't want me listening to it because it sounded too angry and evil.
Oh God.
Yeah, Linkin Park.
Oh my God. That's funny. I was in my car listening to Skillet with this kid in the church parking lot, and his mom yelled at us and like told me like he couldn't hang out with me anymore because I listened to devil music.
Was that Bobby?
No, that was a whole different thing.
Oh, okay.
Bobby's parents wouldn't let him be in our band because we played at a bar, so he had to quit the band.
Where else are you gonna start off as a band?
Yeah. Now the kid owns a couple bars.
Does he really?
Yeah, he owns Skyway Theater.
Oh, he owns that now?
Or maybe books there. He did own part of Station 4.
Well, I know that he books there because he would.
Maybe he doesn't own. Maybe I don't know that actually. Then I don't know that for sure. He doesn't.
Whenever we were booked in the city, because we were on the top of his list for a while with Embrace the Ending, and we were always like, for a few years there, we were like the main local-ish band, you know what I mean? So whenever like nationally touring acts were coming through the area, he'd be like, okay, here's where they're stopping. Like, can you
guys,
come play this show? Because they, whatever the main act was, they would bring an opener for them.
Yeah.
And then they would have like 5 to 7 local bands play before them. And we were always the last local band to play right before their opener and then the main band.
Yep.
And he had us up there constantly for a while. And yeah, he was booking us at the Skyway and Caboose and stuff like that. But
that's one thing Bobby taught me when I was booking too. He's like, you got to find like your local canary, like your local band that's going to be good, that's going to be reliable, that you find like a deal that works for both of you for price.
Right.
And they're going to draw local people to come watch the bigger bands. Like,
right.
It fills it out. 'Cause it's like, how many times have you had like a bigger band that you're like, oh God, I didn't know Under Oath was here. They were here like 3 weeks ago. Like, what?
That's one thing that I didn't like about that system is like, you don't realize how many of these bands that like aren't, fucking Taylor Swift or something like that, they're not selling really that many tickets.
No, seriously,
they really aren't. They find 5 to 7 local bands, like I said, that will sell tickets for them. I mean, they're still the main name on the ticket, and you're somewhere down in the bottom,
And and the local bands are doing all that work for the promoters now. Yeah,
just so you can play a gig.
Yeah, with
a decently known band.
Yeah, like when my band. I'm sure I'll talk about this again on Thursday, but like my big thing when I was in a band was like my band got to open for Cutlass, which was like a Christian band, and we were kind of still like a Christianish band, but like I was wanting to not be a Christian band, but like we opened for them. Like Tooth and Nail kind of seemed like a cool label that didn't really seem like a Christian label, but we were like we were doing really well, and we like felt like we got to have the honor of opening for this band. And like we had the honor of playing in front of their 2,000 fans that most of them were not there to see us. But then after that show, we had a ton of fans. And those fans then came out to our next shows, and like then we got to play with other bigger bands, and like it was very organic in that way. But then like before, like shortly, like towards the end of like my career in music, like that was changing. Like you were like the bands were being required to do the work in order to have that honor and privilege to open for a bigger band. Like and I know that it still exists, like local bands, whatever, but
it just seems so fucking dirty.
It was, yeah. Like,
but and I mean, even if you want to go on tour with a bigger band, you're not they don't just find a band. They're like, hey, you're pretty good, want to come on tour with us? It's no, who can pay $20,000 and you can come on 10 stops with us.
Yep.
And like I literally know a band in Rochester that paid $20,000 to tour with a band that I don't even remember who it was, but it wasn't like that big of a name of a band. And they got to go on 10 or so stops with them, and $20,000 out of pocket.
$20,000 out of pocket. And they hope they can recoup as much of it as possible on merch.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think they did. I mean, I think they're still doing okay, but I don't think they got $20,000 out of it. That's for sure.
Yep. Yeah, I had friends who did that same exact thing. They went on, like, they paid to get on a tour. They had an investor that was like a fan of their band and so believed in their music, and he invested like $15,000 for them to go on this huge tour. And they made a lot of money. They made like $50,000.
Oh wow!
And the guy like took his money back, and that's it. And then they used a lot of that money.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the guy had actually bought them a sound system too, and then they paid him back for the sound system. So I know,
awesome.
Yeah, those kind of things. And then they ended up buying a van, and
that's like what I feel like Embrace the Ending was waiting for, man. Like I feel like we hit that glass ceiling where it's just like all we needed was the right person to see us and give us that chance, and it just never came, unfortunately, because I felt like we had a real good thing going there, honestly. Really good thing going. So it's too bad.
Yeah, it sounds like it was funny.
Still-
Like when I first became
still
friends with you, I
technically
remember
together.
people were like, I was like, yeah, my friend Alex, he's the one that's in Embrace the Ending or whatever, that one band. And they're like, people are like, oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Oh, really?
I was like, there's so many
That's
people
funny.
that heard of you guys.
That's funny.
Yeah, like my neighbor,
Yeah.
like, my friend, my best friend's a huge fan of them. I got to tell him that, blah blah, just weird stuff like that. Like,
Well, that's funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even know, I guess.
yeah, I didn't
That's,
either.
That's cool to hear, though. That's really cool to hear. The most surreal thing that happened with that, as far as like feeling like we actually had a following, I guess. I mean, like I knew we had a decent following there for a while. Maybe we still do. We just haven't been able to play any gigs. But there was these shorter Asian girls that always dressed up as cats.
What?
Like they had the cat eye lenses in it, like contact lenses in, and the ears on, and like claws and everything. They always
Yeah.
dress up like cats, and they kind of followed us for a while. And one time when we were at Northern Invasion, they like scoped us out and found us in the crowd. It was,
Whoa,
I don't know, they really followed us around for a bit there. It was kind of funny.
that's
Great
crazy,
fans though.
right?
Still thankful for them.
Yeah, when I was in a band, I was like, when I thought, okay, I have like some semblance of success because I had like a stalker, and like she wasn't like a crazy, creepy, like dangerous stalker. She was like 12,
No.
but I was like 17, and like she like found my, she kept like she'd find my like she found my number, and then like or then she found like. She would talk like try to talk to me on like different whatever it was like MSN or AOL or whatever back then, and I was like
Sure.
I would just talk like our band had like like an AOL or whatever or an MSN Messenger or whatever, that's what you did back there. That was like your Twitter, and then or like your MySpace or whatever. And but then this girl just started like she'd find like my friends' numbers, and she'd find. So like I'd be just like hanging out with friends, and like maybe I'd post on Facebook or something, like a picture like with my friends, and then all of a sudden she'd like call one of my friends that was like at the place that she saw like in the picture,
What the
kind of
fuck?
thing, like by being like, oh, that's your friend Jen, and her so she'd go to like her Facebook and like find her, like, okay, yeah, that's her apartment, so he's with her, and then he'd like find her number. She'd find her number or whatever, like shit like that.
That's
And then so then she'd finally call, or like she'd call my girlfriend or something, and be like, "Can I talk to Chris?" And then my girlfriend would just think it was funny, But
Oh, I'm sure.
and then I'd be like, "All right, fine. Like I'm just gonna talk to her every time she calls me, and like just
Be weird as shit.
Be weird." Exactly. And like troll her. And then she like wanted that even more.
Oh,
But what
I was
she
gonna
would
say,
yeah, she didn't even care. But she would be really quiet. She would like call and she'd be like, "Hey." And then she would just say nothing. She would just like not talk. And then she'd be like, then she'd eventually hang up. I'd be like, "All right, well, if you're not going to say anything, then maybe we'll just talk another time, or, like never again."
right?
And then she's
Oh
like,
my gosh, that's
then
hilarious.
she'd just be like, "Okay, bye." And then she'd hang up, and then she'd text me like a huge long thing. Like,
That's so
"I'm so
funny.
sorry. I'm just really like antisocial and like uncomfortable around people." I'm like, "Yeah, but you like literally called me, like you called my number like 10 times. Why did you
Right.
even call me?" Like, yeah, anyway. It was funny. Oh,
hilarious.
and then I had another stalker that wasn't because of the band. It was just because, I don't know, think the guy wanted me or something, but it was like a dude that was like 65, and he had like legit child molester
fuck?
glasses. Yeah, he had like pedophile
Nice.
glasses. No joke. He's the guy that I would cast to play the guy that if I made this all up. And his name was Gary, and he would call me and he'd be
perfect
like,
name, too.
right? He'd be like, "Hey Chris, it's Gary." And like I was like so scared, dude. And this dude would find me on campus where I went to college, And I'd be standing there talking to people, right? And I'd look over, and it'd be like a comedy movie, dude. And it'd be like this creepy ass molester guy, looks like Bubbles, like a skinny Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys, and he'd just be
oh my God.
he'd just be like looking at me with his thick ass Coke bottle molester glasses.
How old were you at this point?
Like 21.
Oh, okay.
And so finally, I called the guy, and he kept calling me, and it was from like the VA hospital, and the VA hospital wouldn't give me any information, and I was like, I think one of your like patients is there, like is like stalking me.
I think one of your patients wants to fuck me.
Yeah. So then I finally called the guy, and I called him back one time. I caught him on a number that I could call him back, and I was like, what do you want from me? I'm like, you're creeping me out, and like, let's just be real here. Like, what do you want? And he's like, oh, I just think you're cute. Like, are you gay? And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, stop. I'm like, I'm married, dude. Like, do you see my ring? Even if I wasn't gay, like, I'm married. Can you see my ring?
Right.
You know? And yeah. So then the guy, I was like, you know what? And then he called one more time after that, and I was like, you know what, Gary, I'm trying to be nice to you, but like, fuck off. For real, fuck off.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I was like, just done. I'm like, I'm done. I was like,
awesome.
I was like, if you like call me again, or like if I see you around campus, if I hear of any of my friends that hear that you were like, they saw your ass on campus, because all my friends know what you look like. And like campus security knows what you look like, because I had a couple friends that were there. I was just like telling them, like, I didn't report him or anything, but I'm just like, if you guys see this guy, and yeah, I was like, I will fuck your shit up. I was like, you know I'm like twice the size of you, right? I was like, I will fuck your. Yeah, I was like, not again, not that way, but yeah, I was like, I will fuck your shit up, and like, we'll figure out the consequences to that later. And he never called me back again. Like,
that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I went off on my stalker story.
Oh no, you're good, dude. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's amazing though, like what little moments can just trigger somebody into that kind of mindset. Like, we played a show once, and I just happened to catch out of the corner of my eye this girl had whipped out a camera, and she was like gonna take a picture. So I purposely just hopped off the stage into the crowd, and I walked up towards her, and I just pointed at the camera just so she'd get a good picture. And, you know, that was it. Just thought I'd be nice and give her a cool picture, you know? Yeah. And it was her first time seeing us, evidently. Didn't even know who we were until that night. But she ended up starting an Embrace the Ending fan page, and then like was just constantly messaging me through Facebook. Like, she found me on Facebook, and
she's definitely gonna see this. So hi. Just kidding.
But no, and I mean, there's nothing bad about what she did. I mean, like, I'm grateful she was a fan after that, you know. But it's just little moments like that that can really trigger somebody and just be like, oh my gosh, these guys are awesome. And she ended up starting a fan page, and then she found me on Facebook. And after that, that's when I made my Facebook a little bit more private so that people couldn't find me on there. But learned my lesson with that a couple times. But she actually ended up finding my TikTok now, like just like 2 weeks ago. I posted up a video, and I recognized her face from back then when she was making these pages and whatnot. And she's like, I would recognize that face anywhere. I chatted with her. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been forever, you know. And we just kind of bullshitted a little bit. But yeah, it's just funny how you can just really trigger that in people with, you know, just these little moments that you can create for them, and it'll just create an everlasting memory for them. Yeah. And make a big fan, you know. So I always tried to be very, very personal. I was constantly jumping off the stage and dancing with people. I liked having fun. I liked engaging with the crowd. Yeah. I mean, and if they wouldn't let me be in the merch booth for too long because my mentality is like, I honestly don't give a shit if I'm
You giving too
making
much
money.
shit away? Dude, that's what I used
give
to do
everything
too.
away. I
I
give
was giving shit away
everything
too.
away. People
Yep.
walk up and be like, "Oh, dude, I love this song." I'd be like, "Thanks, man. Here's a hat and a shirt."
I know. It's on the CD. It's on the CD right here. You can have one because, you know what? We're friends. We're friends.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I loved it. Like I
That's
wanted,
great, dude.
You know, I loved
We're
it when we
brothers.
had fans, when we had new fans. You know.
Hey, did your dad ever donate sperm? Maybe we're brothers.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. Let's just...
I don't think that your beard would be red if that was the case.
It'd be the color of his chest hair, or that was your stepdad.
Maybe you're his kid.
Right? There's a much greater chance of that.
Yeah, but no, they didn't let me sit in the merch booth for too long because the rest of the band was very focused on like we need to make money, you know, and it was just never about that for me. I just wanted to be able to have fans, make more fans, show them love, and plus, I mean, who cares if we're giving this shit away for free? We want everybody to be wearing this. We want our name out there, you know. What better way to promote ourselves than having our fucking name on everything? Yeah. Make coffee mugs, make pens for all I care. Just give this shit to them.
Exactly.
And luckily, with my family, my stepbrother, he owns a sign shop, so I just had him whip up a bunch of stickers for me at least, so I would always be able to at least give something to anybody that walked up or whatever. And hey, stick this on your car, stick this on your toolbox, stick this somewhere. Here's 10 of them.
Yep.
Stick them everywhere, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, if it ever really did take off and we did get signed or ended up touring or something like that, all I want is enough to put food in our mouths and to get us from A to B, you know, and be able to keep playing. I don't need to buy a Lamborghini out of it.
Isn't it funny?
I just really like that people like my music, man. You know, like to put your emotions and your heart into lyrics and play it for somebody and have somebody really appreciate that and become a fan. Yeah. That's the biggest compliment in the world.
It is.
It really is.
Seriously. And well deserved too. I mean, even like no matter how good you are, how big an artist is, like if you got some fans of your music or your art or whatever, like that's fucking amazing.
Yeah. And I can't stand not doing it. I mean, as you've seen now for the last couple of years that we haven't been really doing anything as a band, I was like, okay, well, fuck it. I'm just going to do my own thing then. So I just started pumping out my own tunes, my own music videos.
Yep.
And one tough thing is like, as I've already kind of described to you, like I don't give a shit if you're in a band or not, or you know, you're not even that good. Want to make a song together and put a music video out? That's it. And you know, in Rochester, it seems like everybody's so pitted up against each other for some reason.
I know. I've gotten that vibe too when I first moved there.
I'd call, you know, I'd met obviously quite a few of the bands from Rochester and in the city's area. And, you know, when I was putting some of those songs together, just underneath Alex Mulholland, just, you know, my own tune, I'd called around like looking for a drummer, like, hey, I know you're a good, decent drummer. You want to throw this tune together for me? And, you know, I don't really know if I should. And I don't know the band thing. It's just like, I'm not asking you to leave your band. I'm not asking you to even go on tour with me. I'm not asking you to be a part of something. I'm just I mean, I guess kind of. I'm asking you to be a part of this song. Yeah. I'm not asking you to be in this Alex Mulholland band, you know. Yeah. I'm not taking you from anything else. Let's just, as musicians, we should be able to come together and just whip shit out whenever we want.
Yes. Exactly.
We shouldn't be dedicated to any one title. Yeah. We're all in this for the love of it. At least I hope. Yeah. Have fun with it.
I know. I like, and some of my like friends that are still my friends today from the band world were like those friends that like they didn't give a shit. Like they would like they'd play it like the opposite of what you're talking about. Like some of my best friends from the band days still are the ones that like I'm like, dude, we need a drummer. Like, can anyone, like texting 5 of my friends like, I need a drummer. And then this one dude who's like One person I'm thinking of specifically is this dude named Ryan Paul. He is Wax Wayne Music on Twitch, actually. And he was like the singer and like frontman of a different band. And he like played drums for us for a couple of shows. And like that was like the raddest thing ever. And like he's one of one of my fucking heroes still to this day. He's just one of the coolest dudes and one of the greatest, like just such a beautiful musician. And like that was the most impactful thing. Like he fucking played drums for our band because we needed a drummer, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Just so cool.
That's another aspect of music that I really like to try to embrace and enjoy is, you know, people shouldn't be stuck to one thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you like playing drums and guitar, okay, we'll switch it out. That's what I like so much about Axl Bros, my brother and I's band. The last album that we put out, there's so many different people that had a part in that. And when we put on the show for our album release party, it was just a bunch of random people from random bands or people that just weren't in bands. And I mean, there's probably like probably around 15 people that night that, you know, were interchanging on stage, going up, coming down. And I was singing. Like at one point it was just me on stage because I'd made a song on my phone and I just played it off my phone, even if I remember right. Just played it through the PA system on my phone and just sang along with it. And then the next song, there's 6-7 people on stage all playing instruments, and I'm just singing. And then the next one, I'm just playing guitar and singing. And the next one, I'm only playing bass. And you know, we just switched everything up, and everybody's doing something different. That's so much more fun to me. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I don't know. I really enjoy that.
Well, you're a true showman too. Like, I mean, obviously, like your Embrace the Ending shows were extremely performative, but he wore like face paint and stuff. But
yeah. I would do that every once in a while.
I think fun. It's the age-old thing with music. Like, well, I'm kind of the opposite of like. When I was in a band, like I used to put on these shows where I'd like rent our high school auditorium, and like I wanted to put on a show. I was like, I'm not that good of a musician, but I'll put on a fucking show, you know, for these people.
Oh,
like,
seriously,
I'll entertain the shit out of them, even if like I'm not that great of a singer or good at bass or whatever. Like
in my opinion, that's definitely half the act. Is, you know, putting on a show. Yeah. Music is the other half. But if you're in a bar setting and there's a bunch of drunk people, then it's 80% of the show.
Exactly.
The act that you can put on, and 20% of it is music because nobody's really paying attention to how good you are anymore.
Right.
Just as long as you're out there having fun. And that's one thing that I really enjoyed about Embrace the Ending is Joe, Phil, and Andrew, all the guitarists, they all had wireless setups. And then me as well.
Yeah, I
noticed
that.
My wireless mic. So, and every single show for the song Lament specifically, we would try to wrap up with that. And for the last 2 choruses, we'd all be right out in the crowd, standing on tables, standing on chairs, you know, doing whatever. And we were just right there in the crowd. And people love the shit out of that, man. Mm-hmm. And plus it's just more fun for us. Yeah. It really is.
Way more fun. We used to do the same thing, wireless, just go move around and like get out there. Who cares if you don't have quite as good a tone?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as long as you put on a show, they are, if you're suddenly standing out in the middle of the crowd, people are way more excited about the fact that you're standing right there next to them rather than paying attention to whether you're right on key. You know?
Yeah.
But I definitely got that from my old man, though. I'll say, because when I was growing up, I remember one night specifically. He was in a band called Southern Steel at the time, and it was, you know, just a local cover band, but like one of the really big ones. I mean, they were hired every single Friday and Saturday night at the bigger clubs in Rochester and the surrounding area.
Nice.
But I remember specifically one night that he had a wireless setup for his guitar as well. He played rhythm guitar and he sang, and he had a wireless mic on his like for like back then it was like the full headset thing with the mic that came around, you know.
The flesh-colored windscreen.
No, it was black. It was just black.
Oh, that's black.
Over his head, put onto his head.
Yeah.
You know, little black cable that came forward with a little black cone, you know. But
looked like a call center employee.
Yeah, exactly like that. But he had that on, and then he had a wireless setup for his guitar though. But yeah, there was one night that he had hopped off the stage, and he started like kind of jumping through the crowd, walking around, dancing around. Next thing I know, there's literally like a conga line behind my dad while they're playing some southern rock tune, you know. And he's got suddenly 50 people behind him, just jumping over picnic tables and dancing across the bar and everything, and everybody's just loving the shit out of it. And
that's great.
That was just one thing to me. I mean, I think it's obvious to most people that I really like attention. I think I got it from that, but I think that's the main reason though, is because like I saw everybody having fun, and it was because of my dad. They were all looking at Dad, and it was making everybody smile and have a good time, you know.
Yeah.
And that really sunk in deep, I think, at a really young age, because I was probably only 3 or 4 when that was going on. And
wow.
Man, I fucking loved it. I was just like, that is where I want to be. That's what I want to be doing.
Dude, that's awesome.
Just making people have fun and putting on a great show.
Yep. Yeah. That's so sweet.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hopefully, you'll be doing that again soon.
Yeah, we'll see. I still kind of doubt it'll be anytime soon. I hope it will be soon, but kind of doubt it yet. Anything like that, anyway.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit for like a live show performance type thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, well, I'm back home now, man.
Nice. Well,
I'm gonna I'm gonna go inside and see if there's any more craziness brewing.
I'm tempted to be like, you know what? Can you just film right now? Like, let us just watch you, see what happens.
I would, maybe next time.
Okay.
I don't know where everybody is.
If you guys are gonna be all crazy, can I use this for content for my friend's live stream channel?
Right. Well, I just know that my landlord, she just got out of a procedure at the hospital this morning, and she's a little loopy and drugged up.
So she'll be extra.
She'll be extra, but I don't feel appropriate having that just broadcast.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's not ethical.
Right. I'm a shithead, just not that big of one yet.
Right. But at least let them know they're being filmed, even if they are embarrassing. Or
well, at this point, though, I don't even want them to find this, because they'll realize that I've said too much.
Right. You've said too much. Well.
Right.
Luckily, no one watches this, so you should be fine.
I didn't use any full names anyway.
Amanda watches.
Amanda watches.
Sure.
Thanks for watching, Amanda. It's been a pleasure having you. But all right, man. Well, I'll let you go.
Good,
thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
If you ever want some company again, I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll have you on again for sure.
All right, cool.
All right, take care, buddy.
Love you, bro.
Yep, love you too, brother. Bye. So thank you guys for being patient in the chat while I chatted with Alex. He is one of my brothers and a very interesting guy. And as some people in chat said, yeah, he's very interesting, has a lot of interesting stories, and I'm excited to see what happens with him down in Austin now that he's there, and once this pandemic is completed and he gets to go do what he does. So we always have a good laugh, and yeah. So right now I'm trying to see if I can't hold on to this lead I just amassed in ones. Boomf. I'm playing quite well. I play pretty well when I'm chatting and playing ones or twos, I think. just when you get into threes, I think you need a little bit more, what do you call it? Focus, because I'm not very good at focusing.
Check it out.
I'm not sure who's all left in chat, but thank you guys for listening today. Amanda, Connor, how you doing? Walter Tello, how are you doing? Yeah, we can play. I'm not playing with any chat right now, but tonight on the late stream I should be playing with chat more. Clip it. Dribblers are always so frustrating. Oh, he just played the body, really? Thought you're gonna try to dribbly it. Oh, that was nice. I'm not giving him the satisfaction though. Also, Al Azubi, thank you so much for following earlier. I saw you, but I didn't want to interrupt our guest. Thank you so much for following. Let me get the music going again here in a sec, guys. This guy's a foe. Tom. I'm dumb. Wow, this guy's destroying me. I wasn't paying attention much the first half of the game, but still, no excuses now. Mostly kickoffs, to be completely honest. This guy's a dribbler. Mother dribbler. All right, guys. Play another 1 or 2s and call it a day. I'll be back on for a late stream tonight. Bummer, I was gold in 1s for a minute. I never play 1s, but I have been more lately. Oh, I think. I wish I could add him. See if he's streaming. I want to see if anyone else wants to pop into this game quick here. I'm gonna try my hand at some threes by myself, see what happens here. What do you guys think of the format where I interview someone? What would you want to see different? What would you want to see the same? I might change things. Obviously, I'm always looking for ways to improve, so.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go. I can play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me. They not double up again, none of their knows, none of them cold. They just got lucky but never adapted, so I'm to the one if it's coming to blows. My enemies cutting it close, I let them think that they got me, but what do you know? I had them beat before we ever spoke, I'm ready for smoke. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now they ain't go harder than me, they need a blade in a sheath, a shank in a piece, a crate full of heat, an army, a fleet, a tank and a jeep, a navy at sea, with ace a marine, an ace up their sleeve, a team of marines, a freak on a leash, a beast with an appetite, razor for teeth, and still they will lay at my feet. Boy, you got the wrong one. I gotta look over all of my publishing statements for Q1 as soon as the song's done. I gotta call up my mama and tell her I made it as soon as my log's done. I gotta read all my trade publications and sip my tea till it is all done. I think it's all fun. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything.
This guy's toxic as fuck. Why would he bumped me and cost us a goal? Bumped me forward. Hey, what's up, Nathan? How are you? I said wow to one of my teammates, and now he's throwing a toxic, hissy baby fit. Basically costing us the game. Which he would have done anyway by just being a toxic player in general, but... Wow. Like, part of me wants to just ball chase, but I can't bring myself to it because then he'll feel like he won. Instead, I just played the game the right way and we lost. There we go. See, if I would have just been doing that the whole time, would have been fine. Well, Nathan, this is actually my last game until my stream later tonight. So I wish you would have been here a little bit ago. It would have been awesome. Well, I could probably squeeze one in with you right now, Nathan. I just gotta report this guy quick. Wait, what was the other guy? Haver. So yeah, send me an invite. I don't know which one it was, but we'll get them both. Oops. Alright, I'm gonna invite you. Oh wait, well I only have 5 minutes, dude. Like, I could squeeze one more in if you were ready right now. See if he can play. Sounds good. We'll see you later, Nathan. Well, hopefully I can catch you later. I might as well do a ones. I don't have to worry about these crazy teammates. There is Connor. I was trying to invite Connor. I was like, I don't have time to wait. Yay. Let's play duels or threes. We might as well play that. See what happens. I'll add you. I'll go on here quick. Jeez. Oh shit. Okay. All right. Hopefully he'll.
When are you on?
There we go. What's up? I only got time for one game, but
Oh. What are you doing after this?
I gotta pick up Davey, and then we might come back on. So
Okay.
I'll let you know, or you'll see me if I go live or whatever, or you'll see me on Xbox if I don't go live.
Yeah, your stream is like frozen.
What? Right now?
It's been for a while, for me at least.
Oh, maybe. That's weird. It's working for me. So, did you refresh it?
Yeah.
What? I wonder if you're looking at the old stream, because I did have problems with the stream when I first launched it.
I think
And
that
I had
might be
to-
the old.
I should just delete that.
Oh, get that in.
Yes.
Nice.
Try not to miss those.
Yeah.
That's the big difference. I just had this guy like rage on me and like cost us the whole game in threes because I said wow because he like, I wasn't trying to be a dick to him. I was just trying to be like, it was funny because he was coming back the wrong way and I like would have scored a goal, but he basically blocked it and then it went all the way back to our side and they scored on us. And then I was like, wow, like that's crazy that was just like fluke chance that happened. And then he just like started bumping me and like cutting in front of me and like trying to block my shots when I was shooting on their goal. Like there's one time I was about to make a save and he just bumped me from behind and they scored.
No, that was so close.
Anyway, it's like, why are
Yeah.
people so toxic?
No, oh,
Oh,
No.
I thought I had that still. I was, I was gonna try to 50 it.
oh, that was a close one. I'll stay back.
Okay.
You follow up. Like when that happens, you should like wait until they hit the ball,
Yeah.
and if it just doesn't move, you should just go up there and hit it.
Okay.
Just follow up on the ball.
Okay.
That's what I've been trying to work on when I'm there.
Tell me again next time it happens, because I don't remember exactly what I was doing. Nice.
Oh my gosh, bro. That was a good
Yeah.
bump. Like,
Seriously.
you can let the other guy just follow up now. Oh, I tried getting the bump. Woo. No!
The subtle clear.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
that scared me because I was not in the right spot. Oh God. Oh, we made the save! Dude, we made the save together.
Wait, did you get an epic save too?
No, but like I was a part of that with you. Like I touched you or the ball or something there. Maybe I didn't. I'm really curious now to see the replay.
Yeah.
I saved it. Saved the replay.
Oh my gosh.
Cause like I couldn't really see my car
I'm
very
lagging.
well.
Oh, I saved that.
Nice.
I'm lagging so badly. I don't even notice. Get that, get that.
So close. Sorry.
No. Get back there. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No, that was all my fault.
That was my fault too, because I was like going back the wrong way. I cut in front of our guy too, so.
I'm staying back. I'm falling up.
I'm gonna try to play a little more defensive.
Can I save that?
What's up, Amanda? How you doing? I'm doing good.
Gosh, everyone's here. Yes. Yeah, you get that boost.
There we go, centered perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can come back. 2 more. We only
Yeah.
need 2 more.
No, I tried jumping. Wait, where's the ball at?
It's right
Oh, it's
there.
right there. I didn't even notice. I'm like,
He's gonna center it. I got 3rd guy. Oh, here we go. I got this.
yeah.
I gotta get it one more time. Someone. Nice, nice. Shit.
back.
Oh well. That was close though. One of us would have had a better angle on that.
No.
Could have scored it. Amanda,
Yeah.
your driveway's being blocked by a truck. What? What kind of truck? Alright, well, thanks for the games. Oh man, I'm so curious to... You should save that replay if you're curious to see that one save we got. That was such a good save.
Yeah.
Alright.
That was a really good save.
Thanks for watching the stream, you guys. I gotta go because I gotta pick the kid up, but I'll be back on later for at least the 11 o'clock, hopefully sooner than that.
Yeah.
And thanks, Connor, for the game.
I
Hopefully-
was up at 10:59, and then I just got off.
And then I came on.
Yeah.
That's so
I'm like,
funny.
should I really get on again because I'm so tired? Like, I
Right.
had to go shower, brush my teeth, and all that.
I've been there. All right, we'll see you guys later. See ya, Connor. Have a good afternoon, evening.
Yeah, you too.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching the stream and have a good evening.